one of the most profitable.
Hey, everybody. Oh, I've been live for 23 seconds. Am I live? Yeah. I am live. Okay, remember, remind me, no burping. No burping, no farting, no scratching inappropriately. Let's see. What's up, 13 people? You 13, by the way, I like the 13 of you way more than all the other people that come in. But don't tell them I don't want to hurt their feel goods. What up, Cade? Goatly's in the house. I am the goat. I'm the social media disc golf social media goat. If you don't count Simon and Eagle and Brody. Any mental tips for? Oh, actually, wait for the questions to pop up. You know, it's just about far enough where I can't. We got 36 people. Just far enough away where I can't quite see it. I think I got to be a little bit closer.
Well, good. You don't need to see them. You need to see yourself.
Oh, I need to see myself. Look at all that product. That is, oh yeah. I've got, well, all those birdie boxes are all filled. We're at the warehouse. We got more over here. Got more over there.
And coffee.
Yeah, and coffee. We got 49 people. All right. But I will wait to see questions pop on the screen. I think we're tilted sideways. Well, hello, Benita. And hello, Mr. Michael. Oh, man. Is everybody having a great night tonight? I mean, it's Friday night, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're here because something fell through. But I'm fine with that. I don't mind being a backup plan. In fact, a large portion of my dating career has been to play the odds and be multiple people's backup plan. It's just, you know, you got to find your niche. All right.
How do you fit all that in Luna?
How do we fit all this in? Oh, does that pop up?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luna is Luna's
she's getting a lift.
Luna's getting a lift, and she's sitting in a yard underneath a tree, trying not to get sap on her. She's kind of old. We might put her out to stud. Awesome. Let's see. When do I release my next disc? Next 2 weeks. 2 weeks at the most. We already got several more discs in inventory. They're here. We've had to pace them out. See, my thought originally was that I would release a new disc, like tour disc, every 4 days, because I figured everybody would spend all their disposable income just on me. Like, I mean, what, college fund for your kids? Tour discs? Well, it turns out people love their kids more than my tour discs. And so I was cannibalizing my market by releasing them too fast. So now I'm purposely trying to release them about every 4 to 6 weeks. Oh, let's see. Any questions? Ready to get started? I'm ready. Yeah, let's shoot the questions up. By the way, you 68 or 69 people are by far my favorite. I like all of you more than any of the people that come in after you. Just don't tell them. And if I said that to the first 13 people about the next 56, well, I meant that too.
Or you were premature.
Or that's premature. 70 people. No, the 70, you 70 are my favorite. But oh my God, everyone that comes in afterwards, buzzkill. Any mental tips for putting? Okay, so yes, of course I do. And it's unfortunately, this is not a short answer. I would have to go on to like a 20-minute rant minimum talking about the mental game of putting. But what I would do, there is a video I have up. It's called Conquering Putting Nerves and Anxiety. At least that's what it says on the thumbnail. And that explains everything. But basically, the 50-cent version is, it's about the illusion of control. It's about recognizing the things that you don't have control over. And when you recognize that you don't have control, then you can let go of the anxiety. It's all about control or trying to control that messes people up. At least that's my not humble opinion. But once you realize you're more or less just a spectator to your own game, it's a lot less to feel anxiety about.
Okay.
But check out that video.
You need to explain the signature session thing.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was waiting until we had 88 people in here. We're only at 77. I'm not gonna waste this beautiful presentation on 77 people, even if I like them more than the everyone that comes out. Okay, I've run that joke into the ground. 82 people. Okay, when we hit 82, when we hit what did I say, 88?
88.
Once we hit 88 people, I will explain what we're doing here today.
You want to start writing?
No, 84 people. All right, we're close. Let's say this. I have a huge box of markers. And either I'm repainting my truck very slowly, or I'm going to be 88 people. All right. So this is my last chance. I made it into the warehouse. I wasn't able to play USDGC, and the warehouse is just a few hours away. So I came down here, and I'm going to be in the warehouse for the next 3 hours, signing basically anything you find at scottstokely.net. That's my tour discs. It is the collectible Juju from Ching, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. It's a first run discontinued disc. I would be autographing my barbecue sauce. If you want barbecue sauce, I got my Stokely Universe discs. Here, can you hand me those? Sure. Oh yeah, these are here. This is the Stokely Universe discs. These will be signed on the back, not the front, because this is like, it would be like graffiti on the Mona Lisa. So these will be signed on the back. The tour discs, all of these guys, and I got a ton of these, all the different models will be signed on the front. The book, oh, I even got books, autographed books. Anyways, so what you have to do is when you go to the page, if you want them signed, you have to click the signature button and purchase a signature, which I think it's what? $1. We set it up $1. It was just a way of tracking what you want signed. And if you click that signature for $1, every single thing you buy gets signed. If there's something you don't want signed, order it separately and don't click it. And if you don't click that signature button, it will not get signed. So nothing will get signed unless you click that button. So it's all or nothing. I spent my entire life preaching that the world wasn't black and white, and it turns out that my signature sessions are black and white. So I was wrong all along.
On or off?
It's on or off. It's a binary system. Like I've gone, well, this is my simulation after all. Mm-hmm. If I haven't, don't get me started. If I get one more half a cup of coffee, and I'm going to explain to everyone here how this entire thing, including all of you, are part of my simulation.
Cade wants to know if he can get a signed Sharpie.
A signed Sharpie.
We can make it happen.
Wow.
I think we actually could make that work.
Would that be like what's that old painting of the snake that's eating the snake? Because you're signing a Sharpie with, can you sign a Sharpie with the Sharpie that you signed it with? No, you can't. You need a second Sharpie, but then you need oh man, you're hurting my brain. If this was the 60s, I'd have a solution, but it's not, so I don't have a solution. I also have an announcement. We're at 89 people. When we hit 100 people, I got another really cool announcement. So stick around because everybody's coming into the room. But I got an announcement I think is going to interest not all of you, but a lot of you. And I'm not, well, you'll see. It's really cool. Do I have plans to do another online class after the November one? Wanting to do the
online course.
Wanting to do the online course. So how do I phrase this correctly? So hypothetically, you'll be able to sign up every single month for the 6-month class. That's going to be a rolling 6 months, so it won't matter which month you sign up. You can sign up anytime. But that's just for you, chat. For everybody else, assume that the only class ever starting in November, and you have to sign up now or else you'll miss it and it'll be gone forever. It's not true, but if you assume that, you're more likely to sign up for the class. So I'm trying to no, it's going to be open. It's going to be flexible on the sign up times, but what I can guarantee you is there's one starting in November. We're planning on allowing it to open up in December and January, but we're not taking signups. So the one that I know we're taking signups for is November. What's your best advice for a new disc golf company starting up? Specifically, a company focused on media. Sure. This is, hey, you know what? Let's take out the specifically focused on media part. Let's just say a disc golf company starting up, right? I almost say any company in the modern world, at least small companies without gajillions of dollars of capital. First and foremost, build your following and build your brand. Like that comes before anything. Don't plan on making money right away. Just build your audience. Once you have an audience of people, then you can turn on a live stream and sign discs and sell products to them. But you have to build your audience first. If, for example, I didn't have a following and I just said, hey, everybody, I'm signing stuff, even if people had heard of me, it's not the same thing because I hadn't built my audience or my following yet. So focus on building that first, building your brand, building your reputation, and just that audience. And then once you're there, you can expand beyond that. I also would suggest thinking outside of the box because the way the landscape is going, everything is changing. I mean, we went from needing to be on ESPN and network television to needing to be on cable. And now we don't have to be on cable. We're on Disc Golf Network. Now the companies are like, well, how do we get on Disc Golf Network? What if it all goes in-house? Well, now you got to start your own brands and then follow your own tournaments and create your own content. But think outside the box and reinvent the game for yourself. The only way you compete on the platform everyone else is competing on is you got to be bigger and better than them and possibly have been around longer, which that you have no control over. So invent your own niche, build your own audience, and to be unique. By the way, that was it, just for the reference, that was $700 worth of consulting advice you got there. I'm going to...
So it's a super sticker.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate when you say. Yeah, that was $700. I will be doing an entrepreneur class and the business of disc golf class coming up soon because I like the business of disc golf, but it'll apply to anything. What are my thoughts on using Ultimate Frisbees like Innova Pulsars or Disc Golf Ultra Stars as training tools to show throwing flies to develop a smooth training style? I honestly, no. My thoughts are throw the discs you're going to throw. Any of the things where it's like it's a different disc or it's a different device or it's a different thing with stretchy this or snappy that. I personally don't see how that would benefit you over just throwing what you're actually going to be throwing. I reserve the right to be wrong on that because I don't have a parallel universe where 50% of the pros on tour play with a snap towel for 3 years. And then you have to compare side by sides, like the results. So I'm only guessing, but I suspect that playing with the discs you want to throw is, like Ultra Stars and Pulsars are a different type of throw. Like you're not going to fine tune your golf disc technique because you're going to be, if you want those discs to fly right, you have to throw them a little differently. They need more spin relative to speed in order to fly. So no, I think you should just throw with the golf discs.
By the way, I think that is actually a question we got in the email.
Yeah, I remember getting that question too in the email. Might be the same person probably.
Yeah.
So by the way, we're 96.
Reveal yourself.
Reveal yourself.
Hiding.
We're at 96. No, we're now down to 94. When we hit 100, I got a big announcement for everybody. Y'all are going to be super psyched. If you want to hear it, don't leave the room, and then because people are just constantly joining, but then it won't shrink, and y'all are going to be happy. Ever plan on traveling private lessons? Nope. I did traveling private lessons. I traveled the country. I did 1,200 private lessons in 3 years. Fortunately, and this is a great problem to have, is it just doesn't scale anymore because now I can do a like when I do a clinic now, you know, I can get $30 a person times 80 people for 2 hours. And so for my 2 hours time, I could do a clinic or I could do private lessons in those times. Like no one's going to pay what the clinic does. That is why I'm teaching my online class, because the online class is that this I've developed it would reach everybody. If I'll go and pitch it real quick. So if you go to scottstokely.net, you can read about my 6-month online class, Become a Complete Disc Golfer. This is like my life's work. You know, 30 years of, well, 46 years of playing, but like 30 years of teaching put into one 6-month class where every aspect of the game is taught. Now, this is not just a bunch of videos and curriculum to do, because y'all have probably noticed they got this thing called, what's that thing? There's like an interweb site with videos on it. What's it called? YouTube. They got this thing called YouTube where they have videos up there where you can just watch. That's not what this is.
Oh, I thought you were going to say TikTok.
No, TikTok. I'm not 12. No, this is actually an interactive format. I teach 2 live classes every month, but there's also going to be an interactive group chat with all the other students. I've got paid trainers in the chat, and you as a student will be posting unlimited form reviews to the group, and the trainers and myself, other students will be giving form reviews, but it's all coming from train. We hit 100 people. I'll give you my announcement next. But it's unlimited form reviews. I'm so proud of this. So go check it out. It's not like anything else in the sport. It's so good. Okay. So this is the announcement. We're at 98, but we were at 100. So I'll share. This is something that the details are about to be announced, but I can tell you this is coming, is that I am about to launch a website for disc golf teachers all over the world. It's discgolflessons.com. And on that site will be a searchable database for anybody in the country that wants a lesson or wants to take a private lesson. They'll find a teacher in their area. If they want to find someone to teach a class for kids, it'll be in their area. If they want to find a remote teacher, they can find remote teachers anywhere. But it's a database full of teachers for people that want to teach disc golf. Well, one of the things I'm doing is I'm going to be teaching people how to teach golf. So what you'll do is you will take my 6-month class first. You got to go through the class because my method of teaching is different than anyone else's. You got to learn my method, but then you'll be a certified Stokely method teacher, and then you'll have to take a certification class where I specifically teach you how to teach to get certified, tested. I take this very serious, but you will then go up on the website as a certified Stokely method teacher, and we'll be actively spending a ton of money and effort promoting the lessons website to bring you business. So you can be a teacher, and then you can build your brand because you'll be sharing my brand. I'll be sending you customers. Of course, once they start posting reviews and you build your own, reputation, people will start seeking you out locally. But it's the neatest thing. This is...
Well, and the idea is we're trying to initiate the culture change so that people are going to seek out coaches.
I mean, in ball golf, everybody seeks out coaching. It's part of the game. If you play baseball or football, basketball, you have coaches.
Yeah.
Gymnastics, ice skating, doesn't matter. Our sport hasn't taken on that culture, but it needs to. But it's a catch-22. Like, how do you learn how to teach until you teach? But how do you start teaching without having teaching knowledge, right? That's kind of been the rub on that. This is going to be great. And then when you start teaching, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, initially when you're trained, you'll start charging, at least like $50, a minimum of $50 an hour. That goes up pretty quickly as you get experience teaching. So it becomes a great, like if you're in a small town, it's not a full-time job, it's a part-time job. If you live someplace bigger, it can be a full-time job. And it's a very, it's something you can be very successful at. Anyways, point is, you're going to sign up for my 6-month class. That is the first step to go through the class, learn my teaching method. So I'm about to announce it formally, but y'all are basically hearing it worth. So yeah, you're going to be happy if you sign up. All right. As a circa 90s player, you've lost a bit of distance. I know how you feel. I'm not sure why, honestly, but advice would help. By the way, I played against you in the early 2000s in Ohio. Oh boy! So, all right, you played in the 90s and you lost distance. And you're not sure why. Well, first of all, I admire. And I'm trying to say this in the nicest possible way, but you and me share the same delusion, which is we don't feel like we're getting older. I mean, if you were competing in the 90s, especially as a pro, we've aged. We're going to lose distance. If we were running track, we would lose speed. If we were playing basketball, we could dunk from a shorter distance. If we were MMA fighters, we would be slower to blocking kicks. Just the reality. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get better. It doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with your technique. But right off the bat, I think there's some concession on a little bit of that. The question is how much do you lose? If you're losing a little bit, but you're still throwing far enough to compete, then that's just life, but you're still competitive. If you're losing a massive amount of distance disproportionate to your aging process, then it's something to look at. I'm not just trying to turn this into a sales pitch for my class, I promise. But that's where the classes with the form reviews, that's really the only way. There's not one tip like, oh, well, you're losing distance, well, then do this. Like if that existed, I wouldn't even have a job as a teacher because, there'd be that one thing everybody did. So maybe starting with just understanding that it's going to happen, but without doing going through the process and the form reviews, it's impossible to identify what thing.
That's a good weird question you're going to get. So you might want to ask for more of those. There's a weird one coming up.
Okay, it's a weird. Okay, by the way, I love weird questions because I'll get all serious and then philosophical, and then I'll get on my soapbox, and then next thing you know, people are like, why am I here? It's just, I could get lectured by my dad if I wanted to on a Friday night. So send me some fun stuff. What is your longest flying forehand disc right now? I see you have so many long ones this year. Well, there's no such thing as a sidearm disc or a backhand disc. So the disc that flies the farthest backhand will be the farthest flying sidearm. Probably the farthest flying disc right now. God, you know what? I mean, I've been loving the reverb from Prodigy, but I'm also waiting to get my tour series. Well, don't tell anybody, that was a secret. I'm waiting to get Enforcers in, and hopefully their tour series. I mean, Destroyers are still gold standard, but honestly, I love the Enforcers. I think they're fantastic, and I'm looking to get a disc. I mean, the Boss still kills it, right? I mean, but that's not a sidearm. There's not sidearm versus backhand. Those are just the farthest flying discs. Probably the farthest flying disc. Actually, let me back up. I'm sorry. I will at some point here soon be releasing the Stokely series Ballista Pro. That will be my farthest flying disc. It's a 13 speed. So that will be my farthest flying. It's a funny question coming up.
You got a couple. Just.
Do I think Jake Mon has a real chance to win, or will he drop off like Noah did today? Yes, absolutely. That kid is so good. And the crazy thing about it is there are 3 kids in Columbia, Missouri that are all in that same ballpark. I mean, Jake might be a little better than them, maybe, but they're like, I mean,
they're neck and neck. Micah.
Yeah, Micah, yeah. And what's the other kid? 2 years ago, Evan and Micah.
Gosh, they're good.
2 years ago, they were in Columbia, Missouri. These are 3 high school kids. Their ratings were 994, 995, and 995. And they were best friends. They all hung out together and played all the time. And it's like they're 15 years old at the time, 15 or 16 years old. So like all 3 are gonna be special players. Yes, I don't think there's no ceiling on Jake Mon. That kid's he's the real deal. Real nice, real nice kid. I played with him in Butler. Did I beat him up there?
Yeah.
I'm
Texas State's he was on your
he was
card.
in Texas State. He beat me at Texas
You played
State.
with him a couple of times.
He's a great kid. All three of those kids I like him a lot. Let's see. Hey Scott, how much do you think my Air disc golf cart is worth? Greenwell, Manderscheid, or Manderscheid Greenwell? Your Air disc golf cart? I know. Oh, by the way, hi Riley. Air disc. Is that a name of a brand?
No, I think it was written misprinted on the.
Oh, it was a misprinting. Oh, I got you. Oh, I saw it. You know, it's a nice thing. We got this wonderful free market tool called eBay. I don't know if it'd be worth anything until, well, it's probably worth more after you're dead, like art. But it's be hard for you to sell it after you're dead, so that doesn't work. I would say keep it. I would say that's a wall hanger.
Leave it to somebody in your will.
Yeah. Have I thrown the MVP glitch? No, I have not, but I've heard good things about it. I don't even know what it is, except that I know it's good. Everything MVP does is good, though. You just signed up for the November clinic. Good luck on teaching the 7-year-old. We want to keep up with the 45 to 50-year-olds. Absolutely. Those 45 and 50-year-old children. They're children. They're probably more into chewing bubblegum, growing their hair long, dodging the draft, and playing video games, those 50-year-olds. You'll have no problem. They won't be disciplined. Hey, kids these days have no work ethic like us. Am I right? Those 50-year-old children. In terms of disc manufacturing, what slots in the bag are manufacturing companies not updating? I feel like new mids are forgotten and drivers and approach discs are dime a dozen. Yeah, so here's an interesting thing. I'll kind of give you the history on the disc manufacturing. Disc companies don't need so many discs. Like once you've nailed this disc, once you've nailed that disc, like, you know, I have a fairway driver that's a little bit overstable. Once you have a good one, once you have a T-Bird or whatever, you've nailed that niche in your line. The problem is that your company will like fall from like total visibility because people like the newest and next thing. And so Innova started doing this, and Discraft has for sure done it too. But basically, let's just keep putting out discs. Every one of them has a built-in tremendous amount of sales, and even if they're no better, they're new. And I think this is the reason why this is the case. Not I think, I'm 100% sure of why. It's because it's golf. And everybody wants to get better at golf. And what is the next and the newest thing that'll get better at golf? Like, I don't know anything about ball golf. And I've seen my entire life that every year there's a new putter design that will make you better at putting. Like, how is that even possible? Like, it's a piece of metal and I think they're like straight. Like, I don't even get it. But every year there were infomercials every year for a new putter. And I guarantee those companies did well because it's golf and just anything to get better. So even though that they're making those discs, it's kind of like, what's the new hot disc? This one flies the farthest. This one does shots you can't do. And I mean, if I owned this company, I would do the same thing. I think it's smart business-wise. So yeah, so there's always going to be the latest and greatest discs. Hey, real quick, I am doing a disc signing. I should probably start signing. Are these my start to sign? Yep. Oh, I'm going to start signing here. Tilt the camera down. This is going to be quality television, me signing Frisbees. I mean, this is going to be like basically Game of Thrones and Citizen Kane wrapped into one. Oh, you're tilting it down. So this is my last day in the warehouse for the next year or year and a half, probably. I just happen to be near the warehouse and not competing at USDGC, but I've got discs, I've got tour discs, I've got my book, I've got barbecue sauce, I've got the Stokely Universe discs. Oh, I got these. And if you order, click the signature button and order the signature. It's listed for $1. The only reason it's listed for $1 is just a way of telling me that you want it signed. If you click that signature button, every single item you order, every one of them is going to be signed. If you don't click that button, 0 items are going to be signed. So you got to click that button if you want them signed. But that's where you can go, scottstokely.net, to order those. Will you read the next question to me? Because now I can't see the camera. It's so far away. All right. What does the next question say?
All right. Are you going to stream on Twitch?
What am I, 13? Playing, what games do kids play this day? Asteroids or something?
Among Us?
Among Us? Is that like Missile Command?
It's like an imposter.
Does anybody want to watch me play Pac-Man on Twitch?
I watched you play video games at the arcade in Vegas. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, but you're attracted.
Oh, no, wait, that was pinball. Never mind.
Yeah, but that's because you're attracted to me. If you're attracted to me, watching me play video games would be amazing. Like, I could watch anyone, like any woman, play video games if I'm attracted to her, and it's amazing. But if I'm not, I would have a hard time watching someone play video games.
Well, I don't know, but pinball's different.
Yeah, pinball. Oh.
I mean, if you're good with the flipper.
Yeah, if I'm good with the flipper.
I mean,
yeah. If I'm good,
it gets hot fast.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So, anyways, the point is that the only person that wants to watch me play video games is sitting right there. And so, by the way, I know you weren't asking about video games. Am I going to live stream on Twitch? You know, honestly, I'm open to almost anything. I mean, this whole thing's evolving. That's why we just opened up a Discord server. Which, by the way, you go to the Scott Stokely Discord server, and that's going to be a whole new universe of disc golf stuff at Scott Stokely Discord. Hey, well, I got something for y'all. Maybe if you haven't heard about this, as I sign, I have a Scott Stokely Adventures Facebook page, and launching a YouTube channel, Instagram, for all the non-disc golf stuff, because we spend like 50% of our time going to tourist traps. We just went to Fenway Park. We just do ridiculous things, but they're not disc golf stuff, and most of the disc golfers don't care, so I separate it. I will tell you about the last ridiculous thing I went to, and I was so angry about this. I was almost pissed off about this. So we're up in Massachusetts, and we were like, well, we have a day off. We're gonna go to Providence, or we're gonna go to Rhode Island, because why not? She had never been to Rhode Island. I was there for 10 seconds. So we go to Rhode Island, and we always look to see what's happening in town. And it turns out that the local polo club, it's Newport, right?
Newport.
Yeah, the Newport Polo Club, the oldest polo club in the U.S., is having its championship match. Like, I never once even considered going to a polo match until I found out that I could go to a New England polo match. And I was like, oh, we are absolutely going. And then we look at the prices, and it actually wasn't that expensive. But there's 3 sections. There's the section like where all the people are watching, and then there's the grandstand, and then there's the section where you get like a table and they serve you mimosas, and you don't have to. This is the most important part. You don't have to hang out with the common people. And so we bought tickets to the table because like we're at a polo match. We don't want to be we want to be with the people that go to polo matches, not ironically. And so if you get a table, you have to buy 6 tickets to the polo match. And fortunately, I'm doing well now with my teaching. So we bought 6 tickets to the polo match for the 2 of us just to get a table so we can sit with the people that go to polo matches, non-ironically. And we went there, and like it was like we were going to go stomp the divots, the whole works. So this is what pissed me off. I've never been so angry in my life, because it turned out to be a complete waste of money. Because the only reason we went there is that we wanted to. We just wanted to hate the people that go to polo matches, non-ironically. Like, we thought it'd be the most hoity-toity, uppity, like nonsense we'd ever seen, and it turned out that like, oh, by the way, there was a dress code. It's called Newport Chic. You're required to dress Newport chic at the polo match. And so, yeah, we wanted to hate it and make fun of it, and we wanted to sit with rich people and laugh at how. Anyways, turns out everybody was like really nice. and all the people that were at the match would like put out blankets and barbecues, and it was this big like community event. And the whole 1980s John Hughes movie that I envisioned it to be, like, I don't think that really exists anymore in our country. It like turned out everybody was nice, and we spent all this money, and we kind of just had a good time. Pissed me off.
All right, next question. Do you think that the person who coined the term ATV was being a bit presumptuous? Don't look at me like that. I didn't ask it.
The term ATV is being I don't get it.
Alternate vehicle.
Well, I know what alternate vehicle is.
So really, like, altering, isn't that a bit presumptuous?
Oh, well, first off, it's pronounced ATV. What? I mean, people are like, you don't have to spell it out. I know what ATV means. Okay, that's a ridiculous question. You win.
I told you it's a good weird one coming up.
Yeah, I'm fine with the weird ones.
There you go.
So yeah, but anyways, that's all at the Scott Stokely Adventures page. We also got to go to Fenway Park. I got to stand on the field at Fenway Park, which was amazing, and we do just insane stuff.
All right, McLean Earhart asks, can you reflect on your experience playing the 1999 Worlds at Baker Farm in Chile, New York?
Okay, first off, it's called Chile, not Chile.
Chile.
It's not. So it's called Chile.
It's probably the only Mexican word I know.
No, what do you have for dinner tonight?
Taco.
Yeah, there you go, taco.
That's a Americanized word though. I don't think they really eat that in Mexico.
No, taco means octopus in Japan.
Oh.
But we had actually taco. Okay, so I can reflect on it. So Chile. So check this out. So at the Chile, which is a suburb of Rochester, they put in a disc golf course, and the way they funded it. See, back in the 90s, even as late as the 90s, parks didn't want us. Parks would almost never pay for courses. I mean, people would have to do fundraisers like to put courses in, because if a park gave you permission to put the course in, that might be all they do. The idea that they would actually pay for it and build it was like not unheard of course, but it's not like today. And so they can't. But this really cool idea at Chile that people would sponsor a hole, and you would buy the hole. You would buy the basket. You would put the tee pad in. And that hole became your hole. But once it was your hole, you had complete control over that hole. So you would have holes with like rock gardens. You'd have holes with like gardens and flowers built in. There were holes where they brought in like windmills on the hole. Well, like, why is there a windmill on a hole? Well, it's an obstacle. Well, why a windmill? Well, because the person that owns that hole put a windmill in. And it was this great like community-based disc golf course. And what was neat was 4 people made the finals of that tournament, and I was in 5th place, 6 strokes out of 4th place with 1 round to go. And it was I was behind Al Shack, and it was pouring rain, and I shot the course record 11 under in the pouring rain, and to move into the finals, which was really neat, especially because I shot 11 under there. If you go there right now, you ask, like, what's the hot score recently? They will tell you with excitement. They're like, Simon Lizotte shot a 7 under out here. And I'm just like, oh, you know that's not the course record, right? And they're like, yeah, well some guy shot the course record back in like 2000. I used to be good. All right.
Riley wants to know where you sign up for the teacher class.
Yeah, so the way you sign up to teacher class, you just start by signing up. You take the online class. You got to take the online class because I have a method of teaching different than anyone else in the sport. I don't teach the end result. I teach a step-by-step process to get there. It's a very methodical process. And so you have to go through the process yourself in order to teach. It's like if you're teaching martial arts. It's like you can't study teaching martial arts without having gotten your black belt. Like, you have to actually go through and learn yourself. It does not matter the skill level that a player's at. As long as you participate and understand it, you're still qualified to teach. But you got to go through the class first. So just scottstokely.net is where you sign up for the 6-month class. And then after that, we'll do a certification at the end of it. I take my brand very seriously. So I'm being very protective over it. But once your name is attached, you will sell more lessons. You'll be able to charge more money. You'll get a premier, what do you call it?
Listing.
A premier listing on the disc golf lessons website.
All right. Clifton wants to know, where is the site that he can purchase autographed discs?
Oh, well, go to scottstokely.net and then click the shop button, and that will take you there. Autographed discs, autographed books, autographed Stokely Universe discs. Have you guys seen these? You guys have seen these, right? By the way, you can also order these on shirts, full color jerseys as well. They're from Creative Rob. The coolest. I think these are the coolest golf discs. By the way, these are all Discraft ESP buzzes. I'm getting way behind on signing, don't I?
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of talking, not a lot of signing. So.
All right, you can sign a lot during this one because it's a big one. I'm going to read for you.
You're going to read for me?
This is
Okay.
from Michael Harvey.
Hello, Michael Harvey.
Hey, Mr. Stokely. Hope all is well with you and your family, sir. We've never met, unfortunately. I've sort of followed your career through the years, and I appreciate and respect what you do for other people and our great game. I started playing in 1983 and quickly got hooked badly to the point where I started collecting golf discs and 1,400 old school vintage collector discs later. It's now named the Southern Maryland Disc Golf Museum.
Oh, wow.
Which is owned by him and his wife. And they would be most honored if you would ever have the time to drop by. That sounds awesome.
That does sound amazing. The problem is that I am leaving the country in 2 weeks, and I'm bringing some chick with me. And I'm just kidding. I couldn't remember YouTube. What's that girl's name again? Oh, that's right. It's you.
Jane?
It's Jane. I'm bringing Jane with me. No, it's not Jane. That's Jane. Adriana.
Oh.
I'm bringing Adriana with me. But anyways, we're leaving the country, and we're going to be gone like 18 months. And so I'm not, or I would certainly be interested in coming to your course, but, or your museum, but.
Maybe when we come back for Worlds next year. We'll be in Vermont.
Don't be the upper tip of Vermont. He's in Maryland.
Yeah, well, maybe. I said maybe. It's never a never. No one says never.
No one says
Except
never?
Tyler Durden.
Don't you?
And he's asking you a question right now.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Do you live your life?
We never go to Vermont Worlds and Maryland in the same trip. See? I don't follow directions well.
Yeah, I don't think anybody doubts that.
Yeah. Here's the question. Here's the question everybody asks. Like they always make the joke like with Adriana. They're like when they call her like it's 2022. They're like, yeah, you want to check with the boss lady? Like who wears the pants, right? And it's always the same thing. And I'm like, do I ever listen to you?
No.
No. I don't follow direction. I am not a direction follower.
Tyler Durden says, do you live your life by the answers on the Magic 8 Ball?
Oh, God, if I could have remembered just one of the answers, all signs point to no. Damn, but I completely blew it because my timing was off. I had to go back like 35 years.
You're a little bit slow. Where's your coffee?
Slow. Yeah, I need more coffee. I think there's worse sources of information. I won't get political here, but I think if you had to choose between like most modern media outlets and the Magic 8 Ball to get your advice, I would go Magic 8 Ball.
Yeah.
The Magic 8 Ball.
You could fact check it with the Magic 8 Ball.
At least fact check it with the Magic 8 Ball.
Archie Bunker says.
Wait. Is it the Archie Bunker?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
That's his name. I'm not gonna call him.
Dude, you need to get rid of him. Block him.
Why?
Archie Bunker will get us canceled.
I probably not.
Probably not.
No, he could probably.
Why don't you?
Cremated
if you ever want to have fun, go watch. Just pretend that it's 2022 and you're a producer trying to get All in the Family off the ground, and watch an episode of All in the Family, pretending you're showing this to a focus group in 2022, and see how that flies.
So he said
Oh,
that
sorry. Go ahead.
Riccati, I think that's Cynthia he's referring to. She's an FBO player.
Yes.
Is also from Columbia, Missouri. So they're growing some champions down there.
Columbia is great.
Yeah. I think she's also a lefty.
Yeah, Columbia's. I love Columbia. I mean, that's where the Mid America Open was back in the '80s. Like that was insane back then. I mean, Rick Rothstein was there before. I mean, okay. In your PDGA membership, you'll get Disc Golfer magazine. Well, Disc Golfer magazine was the evolution of Disc Golf World News. And Disc Golf World News, the color magazine, used to be a black and white print magazine that was printed in Columbia, Missouri. So the epicenter of the epicenter of our sports magazine was in Columbia.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I know, because you know why?
I don't know. I've heard you say mostly everything you say multiple times, and that's not one of them.
No, that's not one of them. No, I have a wealth of information. It's because I'm old. I've been there for all this.
Nathan Robertson would like you to describe how tight you should hold a disc and which grip gives you the most distance.
Okay. Two-part question. Number one, the answer is firm, and that's all I can give you. There is no way to define it. There's never been a way of measuring how tight we're holding a disc, how many pounds per square inch. I don't know if there ever will be, because the minute you put something on to measure it, you're going to skew the results of the test. So I think it'll come down to, if you grip it tighter and it flies farther, then grip it tighter. If you grip it tighter and it doesn't leave your hand, then grip it less. As far as which grip is the best grip, there is no such thing as a correct grip in disc golf, you guys. Okay? For the last time, I'm not going to repeat myself. I've been saying this for 40 years. This is the very last time until someone asks me tomorrow. There's no such thing as a correct grip in disc golf. Everybody's hands are different size, different length fingers, different flexibilities. When you grip a disc, you need to accomplish three things. You need a strong grip, a consistent release, and a clean release. There is not one grip that'll give everybody those three results. So, I'll give you a starting place though. Starting, you want a strong grip? All things being equal, 4 fingers are stronger than 3. This is a 3-finger grip. This finger's doing nothing. And this is a 3-finger grip. Pinky's off the rim. In a perfect world, try to grip with 4 fingers. Having said that, a fan grip, a pinch grip, which is a fan grip, fingers pulled in, and a power grip are all equally valid grips. One of the worst named things in disc golf, and by worst named, I mean the name of this thing has messed up more people. I mean, not more, millions of people, because of what it's called. Y'all have heard of the power grip, right? You know why it's called the power grip? I was there. It was called the power grip because the person had to call it something. It could have been called the Baltimore grip, the Credenza grip, the John Kirkland grip, the banana grip. Doesn't matter. It could have been called anything. It's just a name. But the minute it got called power grip, from that moment forward, it is implied, especially if you're new, that you must grip it with a power grip to get power. This is how you grip off the tee pad and you switch your grip for approaches. It's not true. I grip with a pinch grip. I set every world record I set with a pinch grip. Simon Lizotte, pinch grip. Garrett Gurthey, I think Garrett Gurthey or Drew Gibson, pinch grip. Pinch grips don't fly less far than power grips. Now, just because we grip with a pinch grip doesn't mean you're supposed to grip with a pinch grip, because plenty of people grip with a power grip and will throw farther than a pinch grip for their hands. So there is no such thing as a perfect, one grip that works for everybody. Fan grip, pinch grip, power grip, all work. Now, I said in a perfect world, you want to grip with 4 fingers. There are many players that they cannot get a clean and consistent release unless they pull that pinky off. Their hand just doesn't fit the disc with 4 fingers. If that's you, if you play with 4 fingers and you can't get it to work, pop that pinky off, throw with 3 fingers. You have my complete permission to throw with a 3-finger grip if you get a better release. I have seen players that literally grip the disc like this, like in their hands, because they're so wired to having to grip with 4 fingers and even a 4-finger power grip. But the way their wrist that joint is lined up and the length of their fingers, they're gripping the disc like this when they throw. All we did to fix their throw, we took that pinky off the disc, and it's like all of a sudden, oh wait, now I'm gripping the disc right. So do not be wired to 4 fingers. Try to throw 4. 3 fingers is fine. 2 more things on grip. You do need the disc snug against your palm. The disc doesn't just flop around out here because you cannot get a consistent release with the disc flopping around. It needs to be snug. And the final thing, a starting place for your thumb is to squeeze the middle of the disc right here and then slide the thumb up until you feel that lip right there. That's a great place to start. However, if you get a better release by taking your thumb and bending it like this, put your thumb right there. If you move your thumb towards the edge of the disc, put your thumb there. I am endlessly flexible on grip. So it's a way longer answer than you asked for, but that's the truth. There is no universally correct grip in disc golf. In 1,000 years, when we've got this game perfectly figured out, there will not be one correct grip. It'll never be the case. There. That's way more information. Everybody owes me $9.
Riley Mandershide is asking, do you remember the Premier Edition?
Premier Edition.
Is that a band?
I don't. Send me more information, Riley.
All right. It's asking, if you had to play a round with only one disc, what would the disc be?
It would depend on the course, but probably Berg. Because I can throw the Berg 300 feet exactly where I'm aiming every single time. So probably the Berg. Although if it was a 10,000-foot course, I would probably throw an Enforcer or something that flew far. No, actually, I'd probably throw something like the Lutz, actually, ironically, as I'm holding it. Like my Tour Series Lutz, because it doesn't fly as far as a high-speed disc, but it also is a great fairway that I can control at slower speeds. So probably the Lutz or the Stall.
You have to pick one. It said
I have to pick one.
This is why you don't make me read the questions every week.
I don't know. L4. That's the disc right back here. So there, that's the one I'd be throwing with.
Okay.
No, it depends on the course. Probably the Berg.
Mark Pryor is from Fort Collins. He says he met you way back in 96 or 97 when Mike G. Randolph was also living there.
Yeah.
He started playing the Colorado Series and won states in AM2. And
Nice.
There's an XL that's signed by you. Any idea what those are worth these days?
Well, let's see. You probably paid $9 for it. If it's brand new, about $9.
So, but there's also a collectors group on Facebook.
There's a group on Facebook, the Scott Stokely Collectors Group, where that is where you could post that and find out. It might be worth a little bit because I set the world distance record with an XL in 1998. So that is a little bit rarer. But as a general rule in our sport, signatures don't add value just because the players are so accessible that everybody's like the signatures are just very common in our sport.
They will be in time though.
You know, whereas like you take a sport like say baseball where the players maybe sign less signatures than we do, but you have an audience of people watching that is say 125 times as large. That means the relative number of signed things to people that want something signed is just vastly different than our sport.
Well, that also means that the people that are getting stuff signed now, when the sport is the size of what baseball is, it's going to be vastly more valuable. So, put your signature items on the cart.
Yes. Buy these are, and you never know. I mean, like I'm not saying I'm going to get into a car wreck and die on the way home, but if I do,
instant value.
This is a $23 Wizard instead of $20. So you never know. By the way, have you noticed? I think I gotta say, I think it's since I've gotten older that I think probably once a day I'll bring up my imminent death. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
It's just I think it's one of those getting older things. When I was younger, I never talked about dying. And now it comes up like once a day. So I'm like by far the oldest guy in tour. And every once in a while, when I kind of want to like freak the people in my group out, I'll point out to them. I'll say, the odds of me dying during this round, they're not zero. They're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm just saying, I probably won't die during this round. It's not zero. I'm at that age where it's no longer zero.
Yeah.
So, anyways, okay, so is that a buzzkill?
A little bit. All right, Aaron asks you, what is your signature disc?
I have signature
discs.
I have signature birds from Castoplast. I have the Birdie Marvel. I have the Wizard from Gateway. And I may be having an Assassin coming out in 2 weeks from Gateway, but you didn't hear it from me. I have from Castoplast, I have the Lutz and the Stall. What?
Heart.
I got the Heart from Dynamic Discs. I may even have a Baobab coming out from AGL next. And I may be having a Ballista Pro coming out and an Enforcer and a Defender and some other discs. So I got a whole bunch. I mean, basically every disc in my bag that I'm throwing will eventually be a tour disc because I have a mixed bag and all these different companies have been so good to me. They're all sponsoring me.
Larry Barnes says, American disc golfers for the 2024 Summer Olympics. What do you think?
American disc golfers for the 2024 Summer Olympics?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the problem. I probably won't make the team because I've aged. I'm just being realistic. I'm probably not going to be the top, like one of the top 3 ranked disc golfers in the U.S. When the disc golf goes into the Olympics. And so I've been actually researching this. And by the way, I will not break eye contact with the camera, so you'll know I'm not just making this one up. Adriana, where am I looking into dual citizenship?
The Republic of Chad.
That's right. I'm looking into dual citizenship for the Republic of Chad because I'm getting older, but I damn sure I'm still the best disc golfer in the Republic of Chad. And it's not that hard to get citizenship to Chad. So if and when disc golf's in the Olympics, I will be walking in the stadium and playing disc golf in the Olympics. And I know I'm going to piss off some of my American audiences, especially some of those in the South, who I love you guys. I'm sorry I'm going to be carrying someone else's flag at the Olympics. I apologize in advance. I want to disc golf in the Olympics. I wanted to do it for 46 years. And if I have to do it for Chad in order to do it, I will. By the way, if it makes you feel any better, by that point, I won't be beating any of the Americans. So USA is probably going to still win gold. I won't take gold away from you guys. I'm just saying, I'm gonna be there. I thought it'd be like me and like 12 like marathon runners, but I don't care. I will disc golf in the Olympics if it goes to the Olympics. I don't care what I have to do.
What weights and drivers do you think are the best for a player like Miss Benita Torrance?
So I think that.
So describe what Benita is. She's a female player.
She's a female player. She's 70. A world. She's 70. No, she's not 70, is she?
I think she said she was 70.
Is she 70? She's a world roller skating, speed skating champion in her age division, which is amazing. So she's a very talented athlete, but also, just being honest, we're all getting older. And so lighter discs are better. Now, I don't have a lot of lighter discs in my tour series. So let's just say that my discs fly great at heavier weights, but everyone else's discs, maybe lighter, you should probably. I can't do it with a straight face. No, I mean, lighter discs are better, but I think lighter discs are better, but this is not the holy grail of like the solution to throwing farther and the solution to playing better. It's one small part, but I don't think it makes the biggest difference. Certainly lighter discs fly a little bit farther, but 8 feet farther doesn't make a damn bit of difference if you're off the fairway. You still got to throw with the correct technique to get on the fairway. And even if you threw a little bit farther with a light disc, like you could throw 5 times that distance lost by throwing with the correct technique. Technique just trumps everything. I will announce that. Actually, I'm going to announce 2 things for y'all. Number one, my 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class. The next class starts in November. I'm taking signups at scottstokely.net. I'll make this brief. It's not a bunch of videos and then some curriculum where I say throw 25 of this and 50 of that. It's a complete interactive 6-month class. There's 2 live classes each month. You can watch recorded classes if you don't make the live class as well. I'll be doing live streams every month. That way people in different time zones will all get access to the live stream. But the most important part of the class, well, 2 parts. Number one is I've developed this teaching method after decades of teaching disc golf. I don't teach the end result. I teach a process to get there that works. Teaching the end result is like watching a YouTube video where someone says, look at this pro in slow motion, do what they do. You all know that doesn't work. It doesn't work to just mimic someone's throw and do it. If it did, I couldn't teach disc golf for a living. So I have a process I've developed that works for everybody. Step by step, you do this, do that. We add layers, you get this down before we add the next step. It works. The way it works in the interactive or the live class is you will be posting form reviews. An unlimited number of form reviews are going to be posting and getting feedback from me, my paid trainers, and this is how you evolve, right? This is how it works. It's not a directional teaching where you're being told something, you go out and do it. We're going back and forth for 6 months. That starts in November, and I'm introducing, and I'm about to announce it, a certification program where I teach you how to teach disc golf. It starts with taking the 6-month class. Nobody gets to be a certified Stokely method instructor if you haven't taken the class or been to a seminar. You had to have gone through my process to learn it. But we're launching a website like probably in a few days, a disc golf lessons website. It is going to have every disc golf teacher, clinic teacher, kids class teacher in the world is going to be on this website. And if you're certified, I'll be sending you students to teach private lessons for. So that's all through scottstokely.net. I'm super proud of it. I encourage you to sign up. It's a 6-month class, but you can break it into 6 payments if you want. That's makes the barrier to getting into the class even smaller. So, and Christmas presents. Don't forget Christmas is coming up. All right.
ScottStokely.net to sign up.
ScottStokely.net to sign up.
All right. Justin Swanson says, years back, were you ever able to catch Fear, the Screamers, Black Flag, Flipper, or the Germs live? And what was the best show you've ever seen?
Okay, so
what are those?
No. Although there were a couple original members of Black Flag, and by the way, original doesn't really mean anything because they're all how do you say, like that bag, like that. Well, all the bands did. They turned people over so fast. But one of a couple of the early members, they played with the UK Subs. If you want to go real esoteric, in Fort Collins. That's the only ones I saw. I kind of missed that era by just a little bit. So if I was 5 years older, I would have seen all of them for sure. But I was like in the early 80s, I was in that 12, 13-year-old range, just a little bit under the 8 range for like the Southern California hardcore scene. I mean, I was aware of it, but wasn't going to get to go. Best show I've ever seen. Oh my God. So I've seen Guar in concert 20 times, and I've seen a million shows. And I can tell you right now, the 20th best show I've ever seen was a Guar show. The 19th best show I've ever seen is a Guar show. The 18th, should I do the whole thing? Okay. The 20 best shows I've ever seen were all Guar shows. It's so sad that Dave Brockie died because Guar is and was the greatest live band ever in the history of bands. It's not even close. There's no second place. So Guar, so it's hands down.
Alan Klein says, Missile Command, it's a great game. Did you ever play Defender back in the day?
I'm 53 years old. Yes. I'll tell you something funny. You guys don't even realize this. I'm going to tell you a story from the old days. So anybody that's under the age of like 47 will be like shocked by this. But this is God's honest truth. Anybody my age can back me up on this. in the like late 70s and early 80s, it was about, and late 70s was the big thing. It was about arcades. You played in arcades, and you went to an arcade, and someone would be playing a game. And the way it worked is, you would be playing a game. 2 people could play at a time in most games, and you would put your quarter on the game because 2 people would be playing. You put a quarter on the game, and whoever won the game got to keep playing, and the next person in line got to play against the person that was on the machine. The person that won the game still had to pay each time, but they got to stay on the machine because you'd have a line 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, like 7 quarters lined up, where people were waiting in line for their turn, and you took on the best player. And if you won, then you got to keep playing until someone beat you. That's how you got to stay on the games, because there were less games than there were people that wanted to play. The thing about it is the people that played video games in the 70s were not considered nerds. They had long hair. They had cigarettes in their mouth. They wore black leather fingerless gloves. They got into fights. And the craziest part of all, God's honest truth, whoever was best at asteroids or Pac-Man got the most sex. It's true. They would have 3 or 4 girls on their arms because they were good at Space Invaders, because they were the alpha male at the place where all the cool kids hung out, which was the arcade. The entire culture was so surreal back then. I was younger, so I just got to see it. But I was like someone would I'm not kidding. A guy would walk in to an arcade, play a game like Defender, get in line, smash everybody, and would walk out the door with a girl under each arm. That happened. Anybody older, back me up. You all saw this happen. The 70s were I was too young, but the 70s were America's greatest decade. No, I mean you could get sex by being good at asteroids.
Well, I don't know.
Name one other decade where that happened.
Video games kind of still do that right now. I mean, if you stream on Twitch.
Yeah, if you stream on Twitch. Yeah, ask every single guy that streams on Twitch. Ask his girlfriend the last time she spent time with him.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they don't. No, the guys at the arcade knew when to leave. Well, actually, the arcade's closed. The 70s were the greatest. Like the baby boomers might have been the greatest generation, but the 70s were the greatest decade.
Number 1 tip to stop pulling putts to the right. It says he pulls his putt from the center, but he's adjusting his stance, and it is working.
Yeah, you're pulling so right off the bat, you're pulling your putt to the right. You're a spoosh putter, aren't you? Yeah, mostly shoulder, coming up, giving a little bit of pop at the wrist. I will show you. And by the way, after I give you this, when you all hear this, you have to sign up for my 6-month class, because I'm about to blow all your minds with some putting information. I need to set the camera up. So, first off, there are 3 main. I'll try to make this short, but I'm going to blow you all's minds with something that's going to be so. It's going to seem so logical when I'm done, but that's how simple this game actually is. The way I teach it. So there's 3 main categories of putts. There's push putt, spin putt, and spoosh putt. A push putt, I'll make it short, but a push putt is a putt that uses all shoulder. The elbow and wrist are locked in place. A spin putt is a putt that primarily uses the elbow and wrist. Shoulders used a little bit, but mostly elbow and wrist. And then a spoosh putt is the hybrid between the two. It's mostly shoulder, but you use a little bit of elbow and wrist to give it a little pop at the end. And by the way, all 3 of those putts, completely valid putts. If you're pulling the disc to the right, you are, first off, you're not a push putter. I don't have to watch you putt. You're a spin putter or a spoosh putter, but you are probably a spoosh putter. So I'm guessing you use mostly shoulder, pop the wrist. Here's why you're missing to the right. Now remember, when I blow your minds, here, set the camera up. After I blow your minds here, you have to. Okay. Oops. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So, and then that's fine. I'll move it back a tiny bit.
Okay. Well, you still.
Trust me, this is worth waiting for. Okay, now everybody raise your right hand. I solemnly swear if Scott blows my mind, I'll sign him for his 6-month class. Okay, so check this out. Oops, ready? Okay, turn right here. All right, so here's the thing. When you move your arms, this has nothing to do with the putting part, just keep this in mind. When you move your arms this direction, from here to here, there's almost no resistance. From here to here, there's no resistance. But the second you get right around here, from here to here, I'll do this sideways, no resistance, no resistance, no resistance, and all of a sudden a ton of resistance, and then it won't go past this point. But it goes from no resistance to basically stopping. You're missing to the right. You're a spoosh putter. Without watching you, you're a spoosh putter. Imagine the camera is the basket, and this side over here is my right side. If you're a spoosh putter and you're ending with your shoulders forward or even at 45 degrees, this of course would be 90 degrees if that's the camera, what's happening is you're putting and your arm is coming to here, but remember, see my shoulders? There's almost no resistance between here and there. That's why you're pulling right. You have to be so precise on your release, and there's nothing stopping you, your arm from pulling to the right. All you're going to do to fix that putt is you are going to putt, and you're going to end your putt at 90 degrees. Because the minute I end my putt at 90 degrees, I have resistance. I cannot move my wrist or my arm that direction if I wanted to. I've put my shoulders in a position where I cannot physically miss the putt to the right, even if I wanted to. That is how you keep the putt from moving right. Now, in order to do that, in order to have a putt that ends like this, you cannot have that front foot pointing forward. I'll take a guess without watching you putt, but I suspect, not for sure, but your front foot might be pointing towards the target. If your front foot's pointing towards the target, your knee will prevent you from rotating all the way through. And if your knee stops you, this position right here, there's no resistance between here and there. You pull the putt to the right. So you start your foot turned 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 45 degrees, somewhere there. But that front foot must be turned. And then you start facing forward. Your foot is in a position that might feel a little bit awkward early in the putt, but you're setting your foot up for where your body's going to be at the end of the putt. Then when you putt, boom, your back foot kicks off that direction to counterbalance you. The front foot's already turned. It does not prevent your shoulders from rotating. You end here. There's resistance, so your arm doesn't go that way. You no longer putt to the right. Now, what I described there is not the correct putting style, because I said there's 3 main categories of putts. When I teach my class, I subdivide into 8 categories. There's 3 main categories, but I break it down into 8 smaller categories of putts. There is one putt of the 8 where what I described is the fix. It does not mean it's the right putt. All 8 putts are valid, but with what you described, that you're pulling the disc to the right, my guess is you are that category of putt, and that's the most common reason people miss right, is if they're rotating spoosh putts, and that's the fix for it. If I get any of this wrong because I haven't seen you, cut me some slack, but I'll go 85% that I'm right in this one without watching you.
Well, you won one. Buzzed Swan has a little mind-blown emoji.
Yeah, mind-blown. Yeah, and by the way, all I described is how it's biomechanics, is how the body moves. Like, it just took me forever to figure out all this. Like I said, this is my life's work. I like to joke, but it's only half joking. I'm shallow. Like, I eat, sleep, and breathe teaching disc golf. I study players. I study form. I teach disc golf. So, I like, this is it. I mean, this is my passion. All right, you guys signed some more discs. Did anybody say mind blown?
Yeah.
I hope so.
You're signing for what? Tell everybody what's going on.
What am I signing for? I'm signing my life away. No, I am. They've got a live signing right now. If you go to scottstokely.net and click shop, you'll go to my store. You will see Tour Series discs, which are all the discs with my Tour Series hot stamp. There's 6 of them, 7 of them. You'll see the Stokely Universe discs. These are Discraft ESP buzzes. And on the Discraft ESP buzzes, I've got my autobiography, Scott Stokely Growing Up Disc Golf. It's basically, like, I don't want to brag or anything, but it's like, it's been called a cross between the Bible and Don Quixote. Just saying. I didn't say it. I'm just, just quoting what I've been hearing. But it's really good. I'm really proud of this. Anyways, if you go and you want me to sign anything, you have to click the button that says the signature button. I think I'm charging $1 for it. Signature session item. I'm only charging for it just because it's a way of indicating that it's that you want things signed. If you click that button, every single item in this order, including barbecue sauce, which I sell barbecue sauce, will be signed. If you don't click that button, nothing will be signed. And if you want something signed, something's not. Two separate orders. That's all you gotta do. All right.
Ooh, have we sold any sauce with the signature yet?
Yeah.
I want to see that happen. I want to see you sign a bottle. Or a 4-pack.
You want to sign a 4-pack? I'll sign all 4 bottles.
That'd be funny.
I should sign some, huh?
Joe Orsino. Hello, Joe.
Well, hello, Joe Orsino.
He says, which do you prefer, the left or the right Twix?
The left or the right Twix?
Mm-hmm.
Like in a package of Twix?
Yeah. Left Twix and right Twix. Twix is a thing, so you have to pick one.
You have to pick one?
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this, Joe. You think we get muscles like this? Eating Twix bars, baby?
No, you should do it playing asteroids.
This is from playing asteroids. No, we got carpal tunnel. My generation invented carpal tunnel, by the way. No, it's probably the women that used to be the typists back in like the 30s.
Yeah.
They probably invented carpal tunnel.
Kevin, is this Kevin from Birdie? I'm guessing with the logo.
Is it Kevin from Birdie?
How are you liking your Birdie Strike?
The Birdie Strike. The Birdie Strike is fantastic. I'm going to be doing Tour Series Birdie Strikes. But whatever you guys do, don't tell Kevin from Birdie Disc Golf Supply that I've already decided to do the strikes. I want him to think that I'm still on the fence. That way he cuts me a better sponsorship deal. So just keep it on the D-low. So I'm telling him I'm uncertain, but I love them. So I'm definitely going to be throwing that disc.
Aaron Myers says, hey, Scott, what kind of discs do you got all around there at the factory?
These are my Tour Series discs. These are Birds, Stalls, Marvels, Harps, Lutes, and then Wizards and Books and Stokely Universe from Creative Rob. Oh, here, I'll get this back to you. And we also got, by the way, if anybody hasn't seen up on the website, flash a picture of this. I came across a sleeve of Juju's. Juju is from a company called Ching Discs, one of the very first other companies out there. Lightning and Innova and Discraft were the big three back then in the 90s. I mean, Innova was the big one, then Discraft and Lightning, but they were the biggest. And then Gateway came around and Ching Discs, and Ching went out of business, and which for no reason, because they were making great discs and like they were was a good quality product. So had nothing to do with them not being popular, but the company didn't go out of business. That sounds like they failed. They stopped operating. The Juju from Ching, I have the first run in the fusion plastic. And can you pop it up on the screen?
Oh.
But these are the first runs. I mean, these are the very, very first ones. I mean, even if the Ching Juju came back, these are still the first runs. And by the way, I'm selling them for $50 a piece. If you go on eBay and search for the Juju, they go for between $100 and $250 a piece. And I'm selling them for $50. And the reason I'm selling them for $50 is because I'm like gone. I can't be stopping at post offices and mailing them. So I'm going to sell them for this, and that's what I'm selling them for. They're epic. They're really good.
Hey, I want to know if anybody in the chat is joining us from Discord.
Is anybody in the chat joining from Discord? We should do a survey.
Get them to comment.
Yep. Yeah, get them to comment. All right. I can't see the screen. Is there any more?
You're signing anyway. I got it.
You do?
I'm reading, remember?
Are you reading to me?
Mm-hmm. All right. Corey Suchart says, I just wanted to say thank you. I watched your video with Iceberg TV, made some of the same adjustments.
Oh, cool.
And it's added distance to my throws and took 3 strokes off my round.
Sweet. I'm happy to hear that. I have so much fun helping people get better at this game. It's just the best. So I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you for letting me know.
Excuse me. And Gabriel is asking, how do you recommend someone practice a roller?
Ooh, you know, if I would get off my ass and do my how to throw roller videos, that would be taken care of. How about this? I got one for you. The next disc I'm going to be releasing is the disc that I throw most of my rollers with, and with that will come a tutorial video on how to roll. So I'm going to promise you that a roller video is coming out in your honor.
And as far as like the practice part of it, like should they do it once a session in the field?
Yeah, so
like
practicing it with any throws that you don't use often, you just want to not throw them or not practice them never. You know, how much you practice them will have to do with, I mean, is it something you feel like you're getting comfortable with? Will you be using them once a week or once every 3 months? You certainly don't want to dedicate as much time to throws that you don't use as often. In fact, when you're practicing, the rule of thumb is you spend most of the time working on the most frequently used throws you'll use, but also the throws that you're worst at. So the ones that you throw the most that you're the worst at, that's where you can get the largest gains. And then you work your way backwards from there to throws that you're already good at that you don't use as much. Most of the utility shots, they're not trick shots, they're real shots, but you don't use them as much. So you don't got to practice them as often. There's no actual flat answer though.
Is your schedule for 2022 set? I think he means 2023.
For 2023, so it's mostly set. We're leaving to go to Australia and New Zealand and in about 2 weeks until January 2nd. Then we're going to Singapore to teach a bunch of disc golf classes there. We're going to play a tournament and teach classes in Malaysia. We're going to play a tournament and teach classes in Thailand. Tournament and teach classes in Cambodia, which is wild. And then I think we're going to go do a tournament and teach some classes in Taiwan, and then Japan Open, and then the European tour. Up through Japan, we're pretty set. That's the end of April. But then after that, we're waiting for the schedule. Now, it looks like, I believe we're going to be playing PDGA Europe, the PDGA Euro Tour. I think we're going to play those events, but we're also going to play the European Pro Tour events also in between those dates. I think. I'm waiting for their schedule to come out, and when their schedule comes out, we'll have a really good idea. But entire 2023 season will be set in probably 2 weeks because they're about to release the other schedule.
Right, and we're gonna be putting out a newsletter when that happens. So
oh yeah, everything's
get on the mailing list.
Oh
so
yeah, thank you. Join the mailing list at scottstokely.net. I'll be posting everything. As of right now, I think that the day before, like give or take, the day or two before every single like European Euro Tour event, I'm going to try to do a clinic, a group class, and I'll be doing other classes as well. I'm going to be doing a ton of clinics. All this traveling the world playing disc golf thing. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to suddenly have a trust fund. So these are all work trips. So I'll be traveling, having fun, doing disc golf all over, but I'm still running clinics everywhere. I'll still be shooting contents. I'll still be teaching my online class. So it's, like I'll be working as much as I work now. I'll just be doing it from other countries. So not complaining, super exciting to go to these new places, and we'll certainly have days off to do things, but like it's still a work trip. So tons of clinics, tons of teaching going on. Teaching is still the biggest focus of what I do.
Teaching is what makes the disc golf happen.
Teaching is what allows me to do all these things.
Yeah. All right. Paul McGinnis says, well, we already answered, have you thrown the glitch? But he also added, have you thrown an end of a Sonic yet?
I have not thrown the end of a Sonic. I would say that, nowadays almost all discs are good. A company, every company has, hits and misses, but generally speaking, if you got a company like Innova that's so big, like if they put out a disc and the disc doesn't fly well, they're not going to release it. So I suspect it's going to be a good disc. Like in the early days, you got some real turds because the companies were trying to figure things out. And I think a lot of the companies that were smaller actually were in a position like they didn't have the money to just like make molds and not use them. So if they made a disc that wasn't good, I think they were like, we need to sell these because we're trying to keep, our heads above water. Those days are long gone. They're not Innova, Discraft, Latitude, Trilogy, and none of those companies are putting out bad discs. In fact, no one's really putting out bad discs, but certainly not Innova. So I think if Innova's got a new disc, I'm sure it's good.
He also would like to know if you would expound on how you pick the discs that you promote.
So I don't pick the discs I want to throw. I pick the flight I'm trying to achieve. The basic rule of thumb is that ultimately I'll have a high-speed driver. One, I'm right-handed. When I'm throwing right-handed backhands, I want one that goes slightly right, one that goes straight, one that goes slightly left, one that goes hard left. Then in the long-range drivers, in the fairway drivers, same thing, slightly left, straight, slightly right, far right. Mid-range, slightly left, straight, slightly right, far right. And then a putter, not as overstable, but slightly right, straight, slightly left. Then I have a couple utility discs. I have a slow panning overstable disc for my thumbers, and then I have a really flippy disc. Then I have a disc coming out from AGL that is it's a utility disc. It's a very specific niche disc, but it does something no other disc in the game does. But that's it. But I don't choose it by the disc. I choose it by I need something that does this. I don't care who makes it. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it's got a cool name or a stupid hot stamp. Like if it does the flight that I need it to do to fill that gap. The simplest way to look at it is if you have a 5-iron and a 7-iron, you need a 6-iron. I think I'm not a golfer, but I think you need a 6-iron because you can get away with a 7 or a 5, but the 6 will do better for those shots. So that's really what it is. I choose by the flight of the disc.
But there's a few exclusions because there's manufacturers that don't want to be part of a mixed bag setup either. So
yeah, well, what I basically have done is I found the discs I wanted. like Dynamic Discs didn't do mixed bag for anybody. And Dynamic has the half owner of the West Side. But I started throwing the harp, and I loved the harp, and I was like, great. And I went to Dynamic, and I'm like, I do a mixed bag. I need to throw the harp. I need a tour series. And they said, well, we don't do mixed bags. And I said, dude, you know who I am.
And it worked.
And it worked. No, I think the reason it did work because of who I am, but I think the biggest reason it worked is because of all the work I do in the special needs community, and I donate my prize money to autism organizations, and so they wanted to get behind me, and so they beta tested it. They said, well, we'll try a tour series disc in a mixed bag because we're supporting what you're doing to grow the sport. So. But I went to them and said, I want to throw the harp. I went to just all these companies. I went to them and I said, I want to throw that disc and I want a tour series disc. Let's talk. And everybody was up for coming up with an arrangement. It was really neat. I was very flattered that everybody's basically said yes. Now, there are some companies that don't do mixed bags, and there's too many companies to carry everything, to carry something from everybody. I'm not trying to have one disc from everybody. It was actually the truth. Like I don't purposely have a mixed bag. I pick the best discs, and I got one of this, 3 of this, 1 of this, 2 of that. If one company had 7 of these discs that I thought were the best, then I would have thrown those 7 discs.
So Mike Felix asks, hey Scott, do you think that a 43-year-old who has been playing for 2 years will be able to play at a pro level, or have I missed my window?
So I won't put a ceiling on you, because if someone tries to put a ceiling on you, then you need to tell them to go to hell. And that's the most polite way I can say that. I say we can be realistic. Like if you start playing at 43 years old, it's not a ceiling to say, you're probably not going to be on the Open Pro Tour. And I say probably because there's no ceilings, but that might be like that. Like we can be realistic. If you're 5'2" and slow, you're not playing in the NBA, right? I mean, we can say that without putting a ceiling on it. It's unfair. But what I will tell you is that 43 years old, you absolutely 100% can be playing the Open Division MP40, and you could most certainly be playing the Open Division in the MP50. For sure, you can absolutely, definitely play pro. So don't let anybody put a ceiling on what you can do. But I think it's at this point, realistically, age protected is probably that's in your wheelhouse. But that's absolutely in your wheelhouse.
But you could even still tour and play tournaments in the pro divisions, even if they're age protected.
So the thing is, thank you very much. That's why I keep you around. There's
among other reasons.
Among other reasons I keep you around. But if I share those reasons, I'll be demonetized by YouTube. Shh. So,
How are you doing on coffee? Do you need more?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's one of the reasons.
because you'll get me coffee?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. And I've made videos about this, and I'll keep making videos about this until I'm blue in the face, until people listen to me, but more people need to be listening to me. The Pro Tour is not the Disc Golf Pro Tour. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is a very specific thing called the Disc Golf Pro Tour. It's MPO, it's FPO, it's 20 events in one particular series. There are thousands of PDGA tournaments, and technically it doesn't matter if they're PDGA or not, but I mean all the big tournaments are PDGA, the sanctioned tournaments with money. Your tour is simply a matter of pulling up the schedule, looking at the map, and saying, hey, there's Utah this weekend, Nevada the weekend after, Northern California the week after that. I want to go to Oregon the weekend after that. Then I'm going to go up and go to Washington, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota. Then I'll shoot down to Nebraska. Like, the tour is whatever the hell you want to make it. Like, that's a pro tour. You're playing tournaments. You're traveling around the country playing disc golf. If you're able to make a living at it, fantastic. If you're able to, You only win a little bit of prize money, but you're running doubles events as you go, or teaching some private lessons. Like, you're making money. You're a professional disc golfer. It doesn't have to be the pro tour. That's just like a very specific, very small niche, but it's not the pro tour. It's a pro tour. All right, so real quick, everybody. My 6-month online class, Become a Complete Disc Golfer. You can sign up at scottstokely.net, and it's 6 months. It's 2 live interactive classes every month. There's live stream. There's there's live streams where I appear also for answering questions. There's a group chat for 6 months where there's where you're going to post unlimited. Really?
Yep.
You're going to post unlimited form reviews. So you get feedback on your form, because the thing is, I don't teach the end result. It doesn't work to say, turn your hips here, put your foot here, rotate your shoulder here. Like, you've tried watching these YouTube videos in slow motion and doing what they do. It doesn't work. That's not what I teach. It doesn't work. So it's a step-by-step process that takes trainers, and it takes a back and forth to get good at this. But if you sign up to scottstokely.net for the 6-month class, like, you will be a far better disc golfer than when you started. I'm like 1,000% confident in this. Now, one of the things you can do if you take the class is I am also training disc golf teachers. So after this 6-month class and a certification class, you'll be able to teach using the Stokely method as a certified Stokely instructor. And we are launching discgolflessons.com, where we're going to be have a database of every disc golf teacher in the world that does live teaching, one-on-one classes, group classes, clinics, kids classes, remote classes, whatever category you want to teach as a certified teacher, you can do. And we will be sending you business, because that's the whole purpose of this model. We're teaching the teachers. We're building a database of teachers around the world that know how to actually teach disc golf, because they're teaching it the way I developed after decades. And then we send you business, and then we'll monetize that as well. So that way we're making money. You'll make most of the money. You're the teacher, but that's the model. So that's scottstokely.net. The 6-month class. I could not recommend it stronger. Final thing, if money is a barrier, we can set it up in 6 payments as well. I mean, it's still a 6-month class, but we can set it up where you pay 1/6 of installments, 6 months in a row. So there's no reason not to do this, and to give it out as a Christmas present. All right,
sauce. So Pete Parsons bought the sauce, and he wants it signed, like each bottle, with the PDGA number to match the disc. DISC.
A PDGA number to match the disc?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, it's going to take silver pen, right?
I don't know. First one.
I've never signed these before. I'll sign it right here.
I don't think so.
All right. By the way, yeah, I still Scott Stokely barbecue. Here, I'll go ahead and plug the barbecue sauce. Texas Smoky. See the letter D? Carolina Vinegar. See the letter I? Kansas City Sweet. The letter S. And California Spicy. Letter C. And I'm going to sign these.
For Pete. Thank you, Pete, for buying
Thank you, Pete, for buying barbecue sauce from me. Now all I need to sell is 6,000 more bottles, and I'll break even.
So while you're talking, Mr. Wolf says, "Where are you?"
Is that Jake Wolf?
I don't know. It's the Mr. Wolf.
Is it the Mr. Wolf as in Jake Wolf?
I don't think so.
Where am I? I am in...
Jake Wolf spells his name with 2 F's, but...
It worked.
Look at that, Pete.
All right. This is the vinegar sauce. You can tell because it's thin. By the way, the barbecue sauce is really good. And we're selling them, but by the time you buy them, they're going to cost, like, after shipping, like $10 a bottle, which is pretty much run of the mill for, like, good barbecue sauce. It's not the cheap Heinz barbecue sauce. It's, it's $10 a bottle, and they are legit good. You're going to like them.
So where are you? You're in the warehouse.
I'm in the warehouse.
And how did you get here?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
I drove.
Well, there's tournaments going on right now. Why are you not there?
Why am I not there? So, okay, so I don't want to like throw anybody under the bus, but I'm gonna. Okay, you guys, will you promise me that you won't share this in social media if I tell you, please? I'm gonna let you all in on something. So the PDGA is trying to promote the sport and trying to promote like that we're real athletes and that it's just young athletic sport. They were afraid that I was going to win USDGC and that it would make the sport look bad to have a 53-year-old win, so they asked me not to play. Well, to be honest, they paid me not to play. So I came down here instead. Don't post that to social media. Like, I don't want to like embarrass them because I knew they felt bad, but plus I heard Paul and Ricky needed the money.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Yeah. Oh, I also might have been on another regimen of antibiotics and was having massive muscle fatigue, and I might have withdrawn from USDGC because of the muscle fatigue.
And
that might have also happened. But one of those two stories is true, but I'm not going to tell you which one.
And we're taking advantage of the break and taking pre-overseas trip vaccines right now. So
yeah, no, we're not using the V word. They'll demonetize us for
fun.
Sure.
We got extra nice Southeast Asian varieties today.
Yeah, we're basically like we're getting let's just say, I don't want to use the word because I'll get demonetized, but let's just say we're being vaccinated against all the stuff that can kill you in Southeast Asia. Like we got a cobra vaccine and a.
Can you call it a jab? That's what they call it in the UK.
It's a Punjabi? That's what they call it in India.
I don't think so. You might get demonetized for that.
No, I don't think that's not a bad thing. Well, if it's a bad thing, then I'm just too ignorant to realize it.
All right. Speaking of signed discs, how much is my XL signed by Scott Stokely worth? You gave it to him at D-Glow back when he gave you an adjustment for some neck pain you were having during a lunch break.
And I gave you an XL, huh? It's honestly, I wish I had a better answer for you, but until I die, I don't think my signature is worth anything. And even after I do die, I don't think it's just, we signed so many discs that they're just, it's the free market. There's just not a market for the signed stuff. So
there's going to be some price point, but the collectors group is going to be.
There's a collectors group at Stokely. Facebook. On Facebook, there's a collectors group, and at the collectors group, you can be posting pictures and things of things that are signed. You can put up things for auction there. There's probably already 700 people in the group.
There is over 700. Yep.
They collect my stuff and other stuff, but they've signed it for the Scott Stokely collectors group. So I'm trying to build that a little bit. In fact, if you're looking for collector's discs, if you go to scottstokely.net and click the shop button, I found a sleeve of Juju. See this disc right here? This is the first run of a company that is no longer in business. It's made with diffusion plastic, PDGA approved. All those indentations on top are thumb tracks. And the idea, they're different distances from the rim of the disc so you could figure out where your thumb should be, because you can play with very well defined different areas and grip the disc well. This is diffusion plastic first run. They actually fly really nice. They don't fly far. It's not meant to fly far. That's not what it is. It's a great understable approach shot disc, but it's also, from a collector's perspective, you'll never be able to get first run Jujus again, because even if somebody were to bring back Ching discs and start releasing these, actually it'll probably be worth more then, because if it becomes a successful company again, it's now the first run. So these are from 2004. Anyways, you can get those. I'm selling them because I got a bunch of them. I'm selling them for $50 a piece. If you go search eBay, you'll find them between $100 and $250 a piece. Some of them used, and I'm selling them for $50 because I'm not going to be stopping it. I can't like be pulling over to stop at post offices and just randomly mailing discs out. So I'm selling them for less, so they'll sell.
All right, next question. Do you think great hand strength is important? He uses a squeeze ball.
Yes. I think that, well, okay, yes, I think it's important. It's not, there's no secret trick that's like, well, if you do this, that's how you throw farther. That's a myth. You got to do a lot of things, but being strong is better. Like there's all these different pieces to the puzzle, and you gotta get them all right. But grip strength is an important part of throwing, and if you use a different or some type of method to strengthen your grip, you're better for it. You're better if your whole body's stronger. You're better if your whole body's lean. You're better if you have good timing. You're better if you don't put the nose up. So everything's better. By the way, if you go to scottstokely.net, tons of Tour Series discs, Stokely Universe discs, my book, barbecue sauce. This is a signature signing. So if you the Universe discs, these are all on Discraft ESPs. Buzzes. Discraft ESP buzzes. These are the coolest discs in the world. Holy macaroni.
That collection is going to keep growing with the artwork as it's...
it's going to completely keep growing because of that artwork. We're going to be putting out a new disc and shirt. You can buy those on shirts, well, some of them. Minis, and then eventually towels with the full color design. But it's the Stokely Universe discs.
Sneak peek.
Oh, you want to get a sneak peek of something? Check this out. You ready for this? Check. Oh my God, y'all ready? This is going to be crazy. Yeah. And just, I'll give you a sneak peek at the little latest design. You ready for this? Should we show them?
Around November 1st.
In November. Ready? Here it goes.
That'll be the next design coming out on jerseys too?
Yeah. No, that's up to us. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll put this on jerseys as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, so these are all coming out. But anyways, if you go there, if you want them signed, you have to click the signature link, the signature session button. You have to order a signature. We charge $1 just because we had to charge something. But the idea is just that just tells us you want the stuff signed. If you click that button, every single item on your order will be signed. The Jujus will be signed. We'll sign them on the back, but it will be signed. The Universe disc will also be signed in the back. The barbecue sauce will be signed. If you don't click that button, nothing will be signed. So you got to click the button.
On OTB Skins this week, Jake Miller says that Dave Thalberg, I guess, was talking about how wide open Winthrop feels compared to 20 years ago. Is that true, or is it just the disc technology that makes it feel easier to hit the gaps?
Why do I know? I think it's the same course as 20 years ago. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe.
Well, they've shifted a couple of the holes around, but.
So Feldberg's at USDGC?
They did the skins with the USDGC champions. They had Barry on and Feldberg and a couple more modern players, but they were just doing a skins setup at Winthrop.
The big skins match, the only skins match that really matters, is the gigantic, massive money skins match.
It is the Disc Golf Final Four.
The Disc Golf Final Four, and you'll never guess who they invite to the Disc Golf Final Four. Me. And then, by the way, you know why they invite me to the Disc Golf Final Four? The reason why is because the two biggest, and by the way, I'm going to start this story by reminding you all that I'm 53 years old. The two largest money skins matches in the history of disc golf both took place this year. And I won them both. Against, the people these two matches, Calvin, Paul, Ricky, James Conrad, Jeremy Colling, Brody Smith, Calvin Heimberg. Like, hey, who's who of disc golfers? One of them was a doubles celebrity charity match. So that one was for fun. And, I know no one was taking it super serious, but everyone was still trying to win. We were still trying to win. Anyways, so basically what I'm saying is at the Final Four, you'd have to say I'm the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's happening in a week and a half?
That's happening. Is it really two? Oh my God, that's happening in 2 weeks, everybody. $50,000 first place for the most skins. It's a $100,000 tournament. And I am going to win.
And there's that raffle thing going on right now.
Oh, yeah. And you could basically pick your winner and win a bunch of cool stuff as well. Dude, we are getting tons of stuff sold.
DiscGolfFinal4.com to pick the winner.
Oh, go to DiscGolfFinal4.com to pick the winner. I'm so glad I got Yahoo Manage. Keeping up with stuff.
Steven Yoshida asks you, who is your favorite player of all time to play a golf round with?
God, you know what? So I don't have one, so I give different answers all the time. Because I can't pick one, and of course it changes. Obviously, not obviously to you guys, but if I could play disc golf with one person in the world, it's my best friend Randy Lum, right? That's who I would play with. But Joe Orsino was my coach growing up. That would always be wonderful to play with him, and then very good friends with PDGA number 3 Dan Roddick. Well, I love Dan. I love doing anything with Dan. So it's the answers will keep changing. I thought about trying to figure out who my favorite player to play with this year on the Pro Tour is. And should I announce it, or should I announce there's going to be awards coming?
Yeah, announce the awards.
Okay, yeah. So I have a series of I'm doing an award show because why not? They're called the Scotties. It's kind of like the Tonys, except without the fabulous dancing. So it's going to be the Scotties, and it's going to be awards for all the things. Some of them are like the best this and the best that, but then also some of my just personal picks, like who my favorite players play with. And so I have to pick, because I've already created the categories, who's going to be winning the awards. So one of the awards is going to be my favorite player to play with on tour this year. And I'm leaning towards who it is, but I don't want to give it away till the awards show. So, but they're called the Skies. They'll be on YouTube. You'll all hear it. I'll be doing best finish hole, best tournament, best gallery, best course, best hole, best player, most improved player, most fun to shoot a practice round with, best European, all sorts of questions that categories that I have. By the way, you know who I think I'm going to pick?
Give me a hint.
What?
Are you going to give a hint?
I'll give a hint to you.
Okay.
I think it's going to be.
Oh, yeah, it's a good choice.
It's a good choice, right?
Yeah.
But I think people will be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think y'all will be surprised. All right.
Bob Presley Jr.
Hello, Bob Presley Jr.
Cards.
Way better than the original.
Presley? Or Bob?
No, it's Bob Presley Jr. Well, if he's a junior, there is an original.
Yeah, but the original Presley or the original Bob?
Oh, the original. Oh, that's true. Okay, never mind then. I retract that statement. Actually, Junior, there's a 50% chance you're the worst Bob Presley out there too. So it's a coin flip.
Or you're just a Bob Presley knockoff.
Or you're just another Bob Presley knockoff. By the way, he's already clicked off. He's like, I didn't sign up for that. I just wanted to ask you. I just wanted to know what disc to throw Kaiser putts with.
No, he actually wants to know about cards. And so that's an interesting thing that nobody's announced yet. You're going to be in the next pack of
Oh
Brixton
yeah,
cards.
I'm in the next pack of Brixton cards, and it's not even like the.
It's not even cheapo cards. They're going to have like pieces of
Yeah,
shirt,
I sent my shirts and
tournament
discs,
worn
cutting up.
shirts and discs and stuff.
Yeah, those are coming out.
What do they call those? They're called like artifact cards. That's what those are going to be.
Artifact
So
cards.
check out Brixton if you want to.
Yeah,
get in on
Brixton.
the next release of those.
And I'm just with the regular touring players. I'm not actually with the like legends category or
Correct.
the old person.
Good, because you're on tour, so you're in the tour.
Yeah, so I'm just, which is great because then I'll get to do a multiple card because then like they'll put me in the like past generation classic card section. But right now I'm just with the touring guys.
Ooh, Buzz Swan says it's your rookie card, which is true because it's your first year.
It is my rookie card. Holy cow!
Yeah,
that's great.
I mean,
so
if Brixton doesn't mark it that way, then
Brixton has to
they're
mark
gonna miss it.
They gotta do my rookie card. That's make a note. We gotta send Brixton that they have to market it. That is my rookie card.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be worth the most money. Oh my god! And I'm gonna like make it all the contest. Anybody willing to buy one of my cards and put it in the spokes of their bike, just to piss off their dad.
Yeah.
Because their dad didn't tell them that that Mickey Mantle card was worth $500,000.
Darren Dietrich is asking, do you remember a guy named John Bottomer who got filmed coverage of tour events back in the late 90s and into the 2000s? He is still traveling and he played some rounds with Darren this summer.
So the name sounds familiar. That's all I can tell you. But it's vague. That's so long ago. I'm not actually yawning. That wasn't a yawn. I was just stretching my jaw.
Next question. Do we get a jab that gives you jaw? Is it like rabies?
No, that's lockjaw.
Rabies gives
No,
you lockjaw?
that's tetanus.
Tetanus gives you lockjaw? No, we didn't get that one.
No.
How many of each disc should you carry during a tournament?
So here's the rule of thumb. You carry one of each disc that you need to throw. So you build your bag based on the shots you need. You have one disc that you need to throw. Okay. Obviously, you need one of every disc that you need. But before the round, hopefully you know the course. Pay attention to those situations where you might lose a disc. If there's a shot where there's water in play, if there's a shot where you're throwing up high over the trees and you might stick your disc, if there's a shot where if you turn it over, it's going to be out in the high shrubs and you might lose it. If that's the case, you need to have backups of those discs. If you throw a disc and you lose it anywhere, shrubs, trees, water, doesn't matter. If you lose it during a round, you cannot cry that was bad luck. That, I lost my best destroyer. No. You needed to have the foresight to know that you would be throwing that destroyer on a hole where you might lose it. So if you normally carry 13 discs, I would say depending on the course, you're going to probably carry 16 or 17 because you got to carry backups. You have to carry backups of discs that you're going to be throwing that you might lose. If you don't carry backups, you're insane.
Next question is from Gina. She would like to know, how does disc weight affect the distance of a throw?
So lighter discs fly farther. I mean, the basic idea, there's just a ratio, like ratio is not the right word, but the heavier discs will penetrate the wind better because they will face, I say, less wind resistance, but they penetrate the wind easier because they're heavier. They're more wind resistant. Lighter discs, however, have more glide, so they will carry farther. And you got to find the ratio between penetrating the wind and glide. And it's going to depend on the speed of the throw. So a high speed throw, like let's say a 400 plus foot throw, the farthest flying discs, I mean, with no wind, normal conditions, might be like the disc in the high 160s. But if you're throwing 250 feet, you might find that you'll find the farthest flying disc to be in the low 160s, high 150s. Hard to find discs in that weight class. But you might even, if you're throwing 200 feet, might even find that throwing discs in the 150s is going to be the farthest flying for you. I personally, though, this is just my opinion, I think the weight of a disc is a little bit overrated because if a disc flies a little bit farther, there's so many things that make a disc fly farther other than weight. Um, all of the other things related to technique and proper flight and proper playing of the wind that, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't make that much of a difference throwing a little bit lighter discs. Now, I don't post that to social media. You'll get blasted for it because everyone knows lighter discs are better for newer players or players that don't throw as far. I completely agree with that statement. It's not that I don't think it's better. I think it's just, it's not as a big a deal as some people make it out to be. Some people are like, oh, the whole key is throwing lighter discs. No, there's 10 different reasons your discs aren't flying far, and the light disc is just one of them. If you nail the other 9, that trumps the lighter disc thing. So lighter discs are better, but there's way more to it than that.
So I have a question for you. Do you want to pop Instagram on for a minute?
Do I want to? Sure. Want to just hold it up? I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to be double dipping. So let's see. Let me know. So shoot me some questions, though.
Let's see if we can get a good enough connection to run both. You are live.
I am live on Instagram. Hello, nobody in Instagram yet. By the way, does it feel like I'm cheating on you, Facebook and YouTube? Am I having an affair with Instagram?
All right, next question.
My Instagram mistress.
Tell the Instagram what's happening.
Instagram. I just dropped in for a second. I'm on YouTube and Facebook doing a live stream signing. There's a ton of stuff going on over here. Show all the discs.
You got 22 people.
These are all the discs that we're signing, and we're telling disc golf stories and talking disc golf technique and disc golf history, but I'm only going to be on Instagram for a minute. So if you go over to my Facebook page or YouTube, that's where you're going to be able to see everything. I'll be on for a while. The
questions and interacting.
Oh, everybody's posting questions that I'm answering, which, by the way, if you have a question, I'm not going to answer on Instagram, but I will for sure answer it if you go over to Facebook and YouTube. All right, what's the question?
All right, Gregory Villone says, I started with a one-finger forehand, and now I think I am at the end of my distance, which I'm lucky to get about 200 feet. Been playing for about 5 years, and he's 51. Should he retrain to throw a two-finger?
So if you've been playing for 5 years and you're throwing 200 feet, I would say there's probably something mechanically that you could be doing differently. 2 fingers is stronger than 1 in the sidearm. Okay, this is true that 2 fingers offers more resistance than 1 finger. And by the way, this is a 1-finger grip. This finger here, this finger here is doing nothing to throw the disc. Less obvious. This right there, that's also a 1-finger grip. If this finger is not touching this finger, there's a gap between these two, this finger's not being used. So those are both 1-finger grips. 2 fingers are stronger than 1, but the difference in the amount of power you get between 2 fingers and 1 is not major. There are so many other factors involved in power that I think that you should be... You're not going to just switch to 2 fingers and all of a sudden add 50 feet. But I suspect you could easily add 50 feet doing other things. Watch my 2 videos on sidearm, 3 videos. Here's the 3 videos to watch. The one that just says 3 tips to throwing sidearm, it has like 200,000 views. You can't miss it. The 2 different sidearm backswings is going to be the second one. And the third one is watch the Don't Serve the Pizza. I think that's what it's called, right?
Stop serving.
Stop serving the pizza on the sidearm. Watch those 3 videos, and there's probably something there that's going to give you the distance.
All right. Aaron Kirsch says, what is your go-to understable distance driver? Because you still have a pretty good arm and speed.
I have 2 of them. For distance drivers, right now I just have 2 fairway drivers, which is the Lutz from Costaplast, which is slightly understable, and hypothetically the Assassin from Gateway, but it's not out yet. So let's just call it my hypothetical understable, like really understable fairway driver. Those are my two go-tos on the understable drivers. On long-range drivers, I am at the moment, well, I will be throwing defenders. So defenders is going to be my understable driver. Right now, because I'm waiting to get defenders in, I've been throwing destroyers, but defender will be my understable long-range driver. Next question. Oh, by the way, if you're on Instagram, I'm going to be only on Instagram for a minute. I'm doing a live stream signing on Facebook and YouTube. This is your invitation to come join me over there. If you do, you can shoot questions. We're talking disc golf history, throwing technique, stories from the tour, secret gossip you can't get anywhere else. Like, this is the TMZ of disc golf.
Australian Disc Golf just joined on Instagram.
Australian Disc Golf. I need you, Australian Disc Golf, to go to my YouTube channel or Facebook. That way we can interact there, because I'm turning off Instagram in a minute. I cannot wait to go to Australia in 2 weeks. It's so great. Everybody throws discs upside down. It's really bizarre, but I've been practicing my thumbers for years just so I could play in Australia. I'm so excited.
All right, next question is from Christopher E. Cola. He says,
That sounds wait a second. His name sounds like E. coli, and I've been dealing with E. coli all year. So I already,
okay, we'll pronounce it
without
Ecola, so it's not
without hearing the question, I'm already leaning towards disliking this person. No offense, but I'm on antibiotics again for the E. coli.
Well, do you want to clarify that? Like, it's in your other systems. It's not like you have a bathroom issue.
No. I've got to a specialist. We got this thing taken care of this time. We know exactly what was going on. I won't gross you out with the details, because I'll be honest, there's nothing worse than an old man talking about the details of why they're on antibiotics. Like, it's not a pleasant story. But we figured out why, and it's one case of E. coli that's returned multiple times this year. We got it late to this time. This is the last time I'm going to deal with it. Knock on wood. But at the moment, I'm on antibiotics. Again. So anyways,
So in your 36 years of PDGA play,
46.
What is your favorite pitch and putt par 54-ish course?
My favorite pitch and putt par 54 course. I mean, there's two of them. By the way, PDGA play, you're right, 36 years. There's two of them. I mean, my favorite course will always be Oak Grove Park, the world's first course. That was my home growing up. That was my love. Probably the best par 3 course out there. It's got to be De La Vega in Santa Cruz. That is a very, 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 very incredibly special course. It is dated because of the fact that it's a par 54 course. Like, if it was ball golf, the best par 54 course out there is still a par 54 course. It's just not. It is what it is. That doesn't take anything away from it. It was built at the time it was built, and so I would say De La Vega is probably the most special and my favorite par 54 course out there. Oh, more discs coming in this side.
Say bye to Instagram.
Okay, Instagram, everybody. Please go over to Facebook and YouTube and join us. We're doing a live stream signing. We got 90 people in the room right now, 94. And you can ask questions, and we'll talk disc golf history. If you have throwing technique questions, if you want to know about my online class, about my teaching certification, if you want to teach disc golf, I'm doing just started a certification and a training process so you can teach disc golf regardless of your skill level. As long as you learn the skill of teaching, you can teach disc golf. We'll even be sending you students. But go over to Scott Stokely, go to my Facebook page or YouTube channel and join us over there. Thanks, everyone. Whew. All right.
All right, next question.
This is an old man record. I've been sitting here for how long?
Long time.
For a long time.
And you're falling behind, so a lot longer.
I'm falling behind?
Sign faster.
I'm signing as fast as I can, Captain.
Okay, Kelly's
worst accent ever.
Zothro asks, do you watch the skins matches? Since you're the winningest skins player, do you keep up on who's going to be your competition?
Of course, I watch the skins matches every morning. I wake up and I watch the big money skins at Eagles Crossing.
That's not a lie.
It's not a lie. I before I get out of bed, that's how I start my day. Wait a second, who's this person?
Kelly.
Kelly, with an I or a Y?
Why?
With a Y. No, I don't brush up. I mean, I know all these players, and you know what? There's no strategy about like everybody's good at everything. It's like some people have different. One person throws a little farther, one person's a little better circle two putting, but it doesn't change. There's no strategy to it. The way that I will beat them, if you want my prediction as to how I'm going to beat them at the disc golf Final Four, is I'm going to intimidate them with greatness. I'm going to show up there and just be so awesome that they can't possibly like they'll be shaking. They'll be like putting like this. That's what's going to be going through their heads, and I'll just be, just looming in the distance. No, everybody's good. The only way you beat them in skins is you throw good shots, you birdie at the right time, and hope no one else does. There's a lot of luck involved in skins. I mean, there's luck involved in disc golf, but skins is even a little bit more unpredictable, but it levels the playing field. Skins is exciting.
How many games of 9-ball did you play when you were at Simon's?
Oh, like probably 30, and I beat him on 29. I beat him every single time I played Simon, I beat him, except for the one that we were filming. Shut up.
I wasn't there. I believe you.
You believe me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's just say I beat him every single time except for the one time the cameras were on.
Jake Miller asks, in terms of Jerry West logo, that's the quote, level, is Simon's point before the putt went down to win the playoff in a front runner for the logo of disc golf?
Aside from the Jerry West?
In terms of the Jerry West logo level, is Simon's point before the putt went down to win the playoff a front runner for the logo of disc golf?
I mean, it was a great moment, and so the cool thing about it is that Simon's such a good kid that, like, some people can pull off cocky and you still like them, and other people are cocky and they're annoying. And Simon's one of those kids that he's such a good guy that, like, when he's cocky, it's just endearing. Like, he can get away with it. So it's up there. I love Simon, and Simon loves Jake, and no, he was playing against.
Was it Rob?
Yeah, it was Rob Burbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did I say Jake?
Yeah.
I was thinking of Jake.
Robert Burridge.
Robert Burridge.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Simon. Everybody likes Burridge. He's a real nice guy. So there was nothing malicious about it.
Yeah, I think that's what's the difference. Like, if it was cocky and it was like a character thing, like that would go over completely different.
Here's the thing you gotta understand. Just about every single player out on tour likes everybody else. Like, what you'd consider a rivalry is like, there's very little. I mean, there's this competitive, friendly rivalry. Everybody's trying to beat each other. Everybody's trying to win, but it's like, it's not ugly. It's not like if you actually right now try to come up with a documentary series like the biggest beefs in disc golf, like, I don't think you could come up with any. Not among the MPO. Like, can you think of any? Man, there's a couple, but they're not toxic.
No.
Let's put it this way. Even the people that might not necessarily click or might have had a falling out in their friendship, and we're aware of like who those are. Like, if they're in the same cart together, they're going to be high-fiving after good shots and saying nice throw. Like, it's really surreal, like how cool everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not ugly.
Joe wants to know, did you used to play asteroids at George's? Georgie's Pizza.
I played at Georgie's Pizza. The big game we played there was Dig Dug. Yeah, Joe will remember. They had Dig Dug there for years.
And Kelly wants to know then, because of all your talk of arcade games, are you a fan of the movie Pixels?
That's one of Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's the one of Adam Sandler, the reason that I don't really like Adam Sandler because I like comedies.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. No, I liked. I thought the movie with Sarah Silverman with the Donkey Kong dude. I thought that was kind of funny.
Sarah Silverman. What's Donkey Kong? Is that a cartoon?
No, she played. Oh God, I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know. Somebody tell you.
I can't remember.
Because I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody comments. No, she played. It was the big giant monkey dude. Somebody help me out here.
Big giant.
Sarah Silverman played the voice of one of the
Wreck-It Ralph?
Wreck-It Ralph, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph.
Well, I asked you if it was a cartoon.
Was that a cartoon?
You said no.
Oh no, I said Donkey Kong. You said is that a cartoon? I'm like, no,
Yes.
Donkey Kong wasn't a cartoon.
Yes, Jordan, it's really live. Hey, Murder Mike is in the chat. He
Murder
says
Mike.
he bought the Cali and the Texas sauce. Much love.
Who did?
Murder Mike?
Did he really?
Mhm.
Murder Mike's the best. He's real good friends with Chris Alto. Just Murder Mike. They're like that.
Really? Does Murder Mike live in Antarctica?
No, he lives in California.
Oh, is that where?
Murder Mike was the first podcast to have Chris Alto on his show.
Is that where Chris Alto winters? At Murder Mike's house?
I don't pay attention to Chris Alto. I hate that guy.
Oh, that's right.
I said nobody on tour that dislikes each other except for me and Chris Alto. I can't stand that guy.
Aaron Myers asking, if they join your 6-month class during the winter, do we still get most of it if it's compared to taking it during the summer? Like, can the drills be done indoors?
So 100% of the drills can be done indoors if you have a net that you're throwing into. It doesn't. It's like if you were taking ball golf lessons, you don't need to see the ball fly. You're working on your swing. It's all about mechanics, the way I teach. Being able to see a disc fly has some advantages. I mean, that's feedback on your throw, right? So that is something that is nice. The trade-off, though, is that you can be working on your game over the winter. You know, if the disc snaps out of your hand, if it flies the line, like you can tell if you pulled that disc right or it went straight. Like, you know, you generally have an idea. But if you're working on mechanics and if you're doing form reviews where you're throwing into a net and I or one of the trainers watches you throw with your form, we will tell you with 100% accuracy if that was going to be a successful throw or not. I mean, if I'm watching someone throw, if I watch them in slow motion, right before the disc leaves their hand, I will tell you if that throw is good or not. I'll tell you if the nose is up. I'll tell you if they pulled it to the right. I'll tell you everything. I can tell before the disc leaves the hand because proper mechanics, proper form, proper timing results in a good or a bad throw. So, yes, it is a little bit better to be outside. But at the same time, you're also putting off your training for 6 months. And this is something you can do over the winter. I mean, it's huge. I mean, you're getting to throw, work on muscles and timing and form over the winter. I think it's a great use of time. I mean, I'm biased, right? I mean, I'm going trying to sell the class, but I'm honestly telling you that in a perfect world, some sunny days are better, but it doesn't mean it's not awesome still.
All right. Amy Good says she's trying to stop throwing nose up. She says she's pushing her thumb down, but the wrist doesn't want to cooperate. Any tips on how to do this?
Yes. So first off, pressing the thumb down has nothing to do with the nose going up. If you watch my video on how to throw flat backhands, that'll give you the answer because it's like a 10-minute video, so it's not a short answer. But basically, there are 6 different things that can cause the nose to go up. All 6 of them can be fixed by doing one thing. You don't have to worry about the 6 causes. There's one thing, if you do, will remove the nose up on the back end. So best thing to do is search for how to throw flat backhands, and that will give you all the information you need on the back end. But that's it. Don't worry about the pressing down with the thumb. That's not true.
All right. CPF says forehand putting will be a major thing for many people soon. Doing that too, like Joel. Don't know what that means.
Forehand putting will be a major thing?
What's your take on that?
I don't think so. I mean, like putting with like sidearms?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't believe so. I mean, I reserve the right to be wrong. I mean, I'm just expressing an opinion. But the thing is, and this has to do with geometry, it's vector geometry to be more specific. If you're doing this on your putt, the amount your fingers or your wrist can move in a very short period of time is a fair amount. And when you move a fair amount of distance, as the disc approaches the target, that's just several degrees off, gets larger and larger. Basically, you have this huge margin for error when you're trying to do this with your wrist. It's nearly impossible to be accurate with that. I mean, especially at slow speeds. Okay, it's not that it's nearly impossible to be accurate, but if you remove this variable, you are removing a variable. You will be more accurate putting that way. If you use your wrist from bent to straight, or on a push putt, just keeping it straight, it offers everything the sidearm putt does, but removing this whole motion. So I could not disagree more with that, but it doesn't mean I'm right.
Okay, explain what's going on with discs. Talk about getting signatures.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
if you're just joining from Instagram.
If you're just joining from Instagram, welcome. We didn't talk about anything important until you got here, but now that you're here, we'll start talking about the important, cool disc throwing techniques.
Ask questions.
So yeah, please shoot questions. And by the way, weird questions. By the way, I like advice questions. If you need help with your career, relationships, whether or not to hit your kids, like I'm the guy to go to. All right.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
I haven't taken I'm not telling you what side I'm on yet, unless someone asks. At scottstokely.net, all my tour series discs, marvels, harps, lutes, birds, obviously. You can, that's what's at the site. My Discraft full color ESP buzzes, the coolest looking discs in all of disc golf. These are all available as well at scottstokely.net. There's barbecue sauces. Oh, by the way, this is the one that's coming out in a month. That's crazy, right? And my book, barbecue sauces. Anyways, if you want them signed, click the signature series button and order a signature on my site before you order anything else. It charges you $1. That's just to let us know that you want them signed. If you click that button, the signature series, every single thing you buy, like every one of them is going to be signed. If you don't click that button, none of them will be signed. If you want something signed and something's not, you got to place it as 2 orders. It's the only way to track whether you want the signed disc or not. So that's going to be like what this is all about. Tonight's all about the live stream. Well, it's not just that. It's also about talking history. And if you have any throwing technique questions or anything you want to know, whether or not to hit your kids, we already covered that. You can ask the silliest questions or the deepest philosophical questions, and I will attempt to dazzle you with both answers. Did I say my book? By the way, if you haven't read my book, you can get the audio version from scottstokely.net.
That's a practice putter pack.
This is a practice putter pack.
Nice.
Hey, by the way, you want to hear something funny about my book? Okay, so I said the book's really good, which it is, but of course I wrote it, so like obviously what else am I going to say about it? But This book won an award. It got the silver medal at bookreview.com. I was actually invited to attend like an actual award ceremony in Miami, like a real award ceremony for like actually real authors. And it got the silver medal in the autobiography category. Now, here's what's funny about this. This is like this international award. The book that won the gold medal was this woman who escaped from Soviet Russia during the Cold War, and she like crawled underneath barbed wire fences and through minefields and crossed borders in the trunks of cars with guns pointed at her, and she like hid in the cargo ship hull in like a crate for 6 weeks to travel across the Atlantic before seeking asylum in the United States and then finding democracy and freedom. That's the one that won the gold medal for best autobiography. Silver medal, kid who grew up playing frisbee golf. I think that's just such a funny thing. So the guy that actually did the review, he said in the review when he got this book to review, he wasn't very happy about it because he's like, he wanted to read like a real book, and this is a book about playing frisbee golf, and then just gave it this raving 5-star review and loved it. So I'm very proud of it. But that's at scottstokely.net, the book and the audiobook. You can get a link there. And we'll shoot some more questions over, and then I'll tell you all about the other thing that's going on. But let's questions first.
Okay, Pete Parsons wants to know, what is the Discord? So you want to go to scottstokely.net/Discord. We've got invite links, but you don't need to know all of that.
scottstokely.net/Discord, what she said. Discord is basically an interactive, like social-ish media / forum platform, but it's one that I have control over. So everything will be on there, from the disc golf lessons will be on there. There's just simply chat groups, kind of like Reddit, except we're going to monitor it a little differently to keep it a little more positive than Reddit. All the classes will be there, the collectors groups. There'll be live streams. There'll be like everything's going to be through there, but it's a community base. But I'm building a community of my people. Now, when I say my people, I don't mean my fans or people that like follow me. It has nothing to do with that. When I say my people, I mean like a like-minded people. If you follow me, which I guess a lot of you do, you probably have noticed this. When you go on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any of my social media, these incredibly, horribly toxic environments where everything's political and religious and everybody's angry at each other. Well, you notice there ain't none of that on my channels. None of it. Well, the reason why is that I've worked hard to attract an audience of people that don't want to deal with that crap. Like, it's not that this stuff's not important, not that politics aren't important, but you deal with it like all day. Like, my stuff is a break from that. So it's mostly disc golf oriented, but it's just this positive, fun place where everybody's happy and no one's being an ass to each other. So it's kind of like a lot of the stuff you see in other areas of social media, all wrapped into one, but it's my community. So I say my people. Doesn't mean you even have to like me, but it's just you are going to be respectful and nice and funny and interesting and kind. And I guess interesting is the most important word too. It's not fluffy. It's just a cool place for everybody to interact, where it's like you're not going to, like, if people are cool. I don't know how else to say it. That's what Discord is.
Alrighty. Are you still going to Hickory this month?
Of course. I'm going to Hickory. I think, I don't want to quote the date. I might get it wrong, but I'll be posting.
I'll tell you what the date. There's links on the website for the event.
12th,
you can go buy tickets.
You can buy the tickets.
Hickory is on the 12th. Raleigh is on
14th.
The 14th, and
Chapel Hill's the 15th.
Is the 16th.
Wait, Chapel Hill's on Sunday?
Yeah.
It's on Sunday?
I think so.
Is it? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it is on Sunday. So, yeah, so Wednesday in Hickory, Friday in Raleigh, Sunday in Chapel Hill. Yeah, you can buy tickets for these clinics at scottstokely.net now, and flyers will be coming out as well ASAP. But my clinics are great. I mean, I've done 530 of them or something like that. They are the best clinics in the sport, according to me.
Your humble accurate opinion of which you are fully convinced.
I'm fully convinced. Hey, the only place I'm arrogant that I'm actually I mean, I'm jokingly arrogant about stuff to be funny. The only thing I'm actually arrogant about is my disc golf teaching, because I have dedicated my life to being the best in the world at this. And my method of teaching, and I'll pitch my other thing. Why not? My 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class, I just started taking signups for the November class. It just opened up, and it's not a bunch of videos in a curriculum. It's multiple live classes each month, which you can watch the recorded version of the live class. If you don't make it, it perfectly works just fine. There'll be live streams for you in different time zones. If you're not able to make the live class, you'll still get access to me live. There's going to be interactive where you're going to be posting form reviews, unlimited number of form reviews over 6 months, where you're posting videos of you throwing, and then me or the paid professional trainers that I've trained who work with me will be giving form reviews and then correcting things and sending you back out to work on it. Then you come back and post more form reviews. But so I said I'm arrogant about my teaching is that I have a method of teaching different than anyone else in the sport. It's not about a different, by the way, the Stokely disc golf method has nothing to do with being a different way of throwing. I am teaching you to throw just like any other teacher is teaching you to throw, which is basically the way the pros throw. I mean, that's the end goal, is to throw like a professional disc golfer. The method is the process to get there. I've developed a method that'll get you there, but I don't teach the end result. I don't say put your foot here, turn your hip here, drop your shoulder there. Like, you've tried that. You've seen the videos. It doesn't work. I have a layered approach where you do something, and I add a layer, I change something, then I back up something else, and it's a process that'll get you there. Anyways, 6-month online class. And then final thing, if you're interested in teaching disc golf, the 6-month class is the first step to being certified as a Stokely disc golf method instructor. We are launching discgolflessons.com, an international database of disc golf teachers and clinic teachers and kids teachers and paid private lesson teachers and course pro teachers. And we will be sending, once you're certified, you'll be in this database. We'll be sending you students. So anyways, that starts with the class. So scottstokely.net. All right, send me some silly questions. It's late. It's time to get silly.
Okay, and Michael's asking about the Juju. He says, is it for sale on your website? I
Yes.
normally collect 170 to 173 with bright colors and a dark stamp. This is for the museum. And he has only 13 in his collection that were ever thrown, so is it new also?
It's brand new.
Yeah, it's brand new, but it's not a dark stamp. It is that picture.
It's a silver stamp.
Yeah, it's a silver stamp, but that picture is the disc. They were first runs, so I think there were other colors in the first runs, but there's not. And I may or may not be getting access to those at some point, but this is the first run, so there's not like a massive different variety of colors and stamps.
But this the only plastic that was
in the first runs? It was the fusion plastic.
Only ran the fusion plastic once.
They ran the fusion plastic one time.
So that does make it extra rare then.
No, yeah, for sure. Even if Ching got brought back, even if the company was brought back to life, it would, I suspect, in my opinion, would make them even more valuable, the first runs, because it's still the first runs in the fusion plastic. The more successful the company is, or the more successful a disc is, the more the first runs are worth. I mean, nobody's looking for first run Scorpions or first run MRVs. Nobody cares about those. But first run Rocks and first run Aviars and first run Destroyers and first run Buzzes, incredibly valuable. So even if Ching were to come back, they're going to become more valuable, not less.
The Juju was Ching's first disc.
Oh, that was Ching's first disc? Oh,
that they manufactured themselves.
Okay, first disc they manufactured themselves.
The prior 3 discs were manufactured by the Fusion Juju was Ching's first in-house produced disc.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. So it's the first in-house produced disc. I'm looking for relationship questions now. That's what I want. It's late.
How about this?
By the way,
can open.
Real quick, the reason I am an expert at relationships is I've had so many 1-year relationships. Like, I'm pretty much a pro. In fact, Adriana, tell me if this is not true. When we first started dating, you went to my Facebook page, and when you looked through my Facebook page, I think your exact words were, you said, "I got about 1 year, don't I?"
Yeah, the over under was.
Is that what you said? She looked at my
a few
Facebook.
months.
She looked at my Facebook page. She's like, "Cool, I got about a year, right?" So, anyways, point is, kind of an expert at relationships. All right, what's the question? I can't see.
Lori Cassidy Holman Coyle says the Japan Open is finally coming back. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I know that I'll be there. We are going to go spend a month in Japan, and we're going to follow the cherry blossoms blooming up across Japan for, well, probably not a month. We'll be doing some clinics and stuff in Japan. But our plan is to be there. I know that a really good friend of mine just bought her plane ticket to Japan. She's going as well. But I've played in Japan twice. It's my favorite unique experience in disc golf. Hey, I cannot wait to go. It's just the most beautiful people, and just so many things about it are so special. Japan is amazing.
All right. Which pro has surprised you the most with their personality compared to what we see on the coverage?
Okay, so it's nothing to do with on coverage, but I've gotten to know Brody a fair amount, and he's has been controversial before, and like I've never had anything but good experiences with him. I've enjoyed the time I've played with him. I've been on his card a ton. I've shot some practice rounds with him. I did a doubles match against him. I did the skins match against him, and I've had a really great time. So it's not that I was so much surprised, but I bet if I said that I really like Brody, I bet that would probably surprise people. He's a good dude. So not really a surprise, but I like Brody. I think as far as surprise on the course, the funnest person to play a practice round with before a tournament by far is, I'm not telling you because I have an award show coming out in a couple of weeks called the Scotties. And the only way, like I said, my theme for the Scotties is they're like the Tonys, but less fabulous. And so the Scotty Awards are coming out, and I'll tell you my favorite person to shoot a practice round with. It'll surprise you. I think my favorite person to play a tournament round with will probably also surprise you. Not because they're not a cool person, but you probably would. It's a little bit out of left field, but yeah, I think I'm pretty much set on that. So yeah, but nothing else has surprised me. I like everybody, and everybody seems to like me, and we all get along.
Who do you want on your card for the big money skins match?
The 3 worst people there. But that was easy. You know, who don't I want? Paul, Ricky, and Simon. That's obvious. You know, that's the no, I mean, I'm not afraid of playing anybody, but you know, obviously on the match, I mean, I want to play the easiest people possible. Like, that's just logical. But the thing is, there's nobody there that's bad, you know. But there's still ranges. I mean, look, Paul, Ricky, and Simon are like at a different level, and right below that, only by about this much, is Gannon, Dickerson, and Burr. And then, you know, God, there's no one that isn't good. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to think about it now. I wonder if there's going to be seeding though. I mean, is there? Did they give the numbers yet?
No, not yet. But there's going to be like the whole way that they're doing. They used a name for the system, and I can't recall what it is. But yeah, they're going to rank people and playoff system and bracketize it. And
yeah. Oh, that gotta be here. Do me a favor, will you please?
It's going to be awesome.
Do you have Dave McCormick's phone number on your phone?
No.
Do you have Dave McCormick's phone number, Randy? No. Okay. I was gonna say we should call Dave McCormick live on the air. Ask him about seeding.
I'm gonna look up that.
Actually, let's do that.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna call.
You need to keep signing. So you
I'm
have a huge stack.
I'm gonna call Dave McCormick right now, live on the air, and ask him what my seating is. And if it's not number one, I'm gonna ask him why.
No, we're not doing that.
No, I'm not gonna call him.
No. Next question.
Okay, next question.
If you're always traveling, where do you keep your collection of discs?
So I don't have a collection of discs. I don't own a single thing that's not in our hotel room right now, other than the truck that's outside of the warehouse. Neither does Adriana. We don't have a storage unit. We don't have a box of stuff with our kids' memorabilia. We did have some of that stuff that was in our trailer that got stolen 2 years ago. And since then, we don't, and I'm not exaggerating, we don't own a single thing that's not on us. So I don't have a collection of discs. If someone gives me a collectible disc, I can give it away. I don't keep my trophies. I don't keep shirts, tournament shirts, or if I do, I got to get rid of one because I only got so much space in the suitcase. People say they're minimalistic, and we kind of laugh. We're like, they're minimalistic because they don't have a lot of paintings on their walls or something, right? Like, no, all we have are the next adventure. So, yeah.
Memories are way larger than stuff.
I just don't have stuff.
Pete Parsons asks, have you been to the Safe House in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
I've been to the Safe House in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Is that the place that was a bar that used to be like the old CIA hangout? Ask him about this. Well, I'll wait to get a response. I'm guessing that's what it is. It's like it was an old like CIA or spy network place, right? Because no, I haven't. That's what it is. But I've heard of it.
Safe House Milwaukee, buzzy spy-themed hideaway, features creative cocktails and casual fare in a quirky, dim-lit interior.
Yeah, but no, I think it was a real place, though.
1966 offered refuge to spies of national and international. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. All right, I'm putting that on our save list. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah. No, I haven't been there. I'm not much of a bar guy. I'm about to offend. How many people in the room right now?
I got 68.
About 68. Okay, so I'm going to offend 20 of you, but I don't like hanging out with you when you're drunk. Drunk people are annoying. They're every one of them. they're loud. So anyways, yeah. So I'm not a big bar guy, but I would go to a themed bar. I mean, that sounds like fun. I've heard of it for years, but never been there.
Well, especially if it has some kind of memorabilia, or like if they kind of made it a museum to the people.
No. So this is what, and I could be wrong. Pete will tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the way it works. Is that there's no sign outside, because remember it's like a hideaway, right?
Yeah, you got to go in through the red door.
Yeah, you got to go in through the door, but you have to you have to know something like a secret lock or something like that. Well, there's cameras outside, so the people inside could watch you trying to figure out how to get in, and can laugh at you when you go in. And you go in there, and there's like a bar, and you hang out, and you drink, you do this, you do that, and you can go there a bunch of times, never even realizing there's actually a secret door that leads to another section where there's a bar. That when you find it, you're like, oh my God, there's another section. And then when you go to the other section of the bar, you hang out there before you realize, many visits later, there's actually another section of the bar, but they're all through you pull a book out and the whole thing rotates, and it's all secret cavities to get around. At least that's what I've heard.
That sounds really fun. And it's a restaurant also.
Is it?
It's not just a bar.
Oh, okay. We'll go there to eat.
It's bookmarked. All right, Carl Page says, hey, Scott, can anyone throw 450? I seem to be stuck at 350 max. I just wonder if everyone should be able to throw a certain distance.
So, yes and no. So everybody has a built-in ceiling, like a physical ceiling for them based on their height, their coordination, their fast twitch muscles. There's physics limitations, right? That everybody kind of has. Not kind of. Everybody has a physical physical limitation. The goal with proper technique is to get as close as you can to your limit, right? So for instance, somebody who starts off playing at 60 years old, they may have a limitation, not that I put on them, but they may have a limitation that they're 60 years old, they just started playing. They're never going to get to 430 feet. Maybe their limitation is 370. But they're only throwing 300 because they don't have proper technique. They don't have proper timing. They're still making mistakes. So the goal with teaching is to get you up to wherever that line is. Now, as far as you, so you're saying, should everybody throw 450? I can't speak for you. I don't know. So I don't know your age, your height, like I don't know, like you. Like if you said you were 19 years old, 6'3", lean, like should you throw 450? I would tell you definitively 100% yes, for sure. Of course you should. But if you're 75 years old and just started last month, then I would never tell anybody no, but maybe not, right? So I don't know where you are.
Craig is asking, where are you going to be the next 18 months?
I am going to be Australia for a month, New Zealand for 6 weeks. No, Australia for 6 weeks, New Zealand for a month. And then Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia. We're trying to figure out, because then 2 months later we have the Japan Open, but we're not exactly sure how we're doing that. We might go to Taiwan. We might go to India.
Or mainland China.
Or we might go to mainland China if we're able to.
It depends on what the dates end up being.
Yeah,
for
like we want to go. I mean,
Europe.
I want to go. I would love to go to China. I don't know if it's going to close at some point and we never get to go. So I would like to go while we still can. But right now there's restrictions. There's still a quarantine if you go. So don't know if that's going to change in the next couple months. Then the Japan Open. But then after that, we're going to do the European Pro Tour, the Disc Golf Euro Tour. And on the Euro Tour, that's going to be May through November. And then at the end of that, we are going to, next winter, the plan is to go to India and Africa. There's 4 tournaments in Africa: Tanzania, Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Africa. And I want to go to all of those places.
Mm-hmm.
And then the spring after, that'll be 18 months, I might just play the Euro Tour again. And then I want to go to Patagonia. And then I want to go to Antarctica. And then we got to go to Central America. And then I want to go do a liveaboard diving trip. And then oh my God, so many places. I want to go to Papua New Guinea.
Live aboard diving trip?
Oh, I didn't tell you about that?
No, what is that?
Oh, we're going to live on a boat and go scuba diving.
Okay.
Did I tell you we were going to do that?
That's a new one, but I'm down.
Okay, I didn't tell her about the liveaboard scuba diving trip. No, I just, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, we're still working. I still got to do my online classes. That 6-month class is an online class. I'm still endorsing discs. Everywhere I go, at least in the spring, summer, and fall, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's still clinics. I still got to make a living. I don't have a trust fund. I don't have, I don't have a whole lot of money in savings, to be honest. So I still got to make money, but everything I've set up to do in my business is so I could do it remotely and while I travel, because I just want to travel the rest of my life. Like, I'm never going to have a home. When I die, it'll be like driving to the next town or on a plane.
Or in your sleep.
In my sleep?
Yeah. That's honestly the best way to die. That's how my grandmother died. Just go to sleep. You have a massive heart attack while you're asleep. And it's like you just don't wake up. You don't miss.
But then I don't get to experience it.
Why would you want to experience death?
I don't want to. It's just...
No, you want to go to sleep happy and wake up. Or not.
And wake up dead. No, I don't want to experience it. I'm kidding.
Tell people about how they get their signature discs.
Oh, yeah. If you want a signature disc, you go to scottstokely.net and you click the signature session button and you order the signature. It's like $1, right? That just tells us that every single thing in this order, doesn't matter what it is, every single thing you order will be signed if you buy that signature session. All my Tour Series discs, my book, this masterpiece, the Stokely Universe discs. This one, on this one, had this one. I got barbecue sauce. I got the Juju, the first run Ching Jujus for sale. If you don't click that signature series button, then nothing in that order will be signed. So it's an all or nothing. But that's what this whole session's about. That's what I've been doing this whole time, is signing discs as the orders come in, which is too cool.
All right. What are your thoughts about next year's tour schedule, GGPT? Even though you're going to be out of the country, like.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it really, to be honest, it hasn't changed much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's they added Canada. They took out.
I think it's really cool they added Canada.
It is cool they added Canada. I think it's honestly just about the same. I mean, like if they're gonna open up more events at some point, and then when they get more events, they're gonna be more qualifier events to build points, and then the Euro Tour. There's 13 events on the Disc Golf Euro Tour. They're the Euro Tour events that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the U.S., I mean, it hasn't really changed. It's a good schedule. I mean, it's a lot of driving in between. People complain about that, but like, it's not. Look, it's weather. Like, you're trying to figure out where to be in the best part of the country based on the weather. It's not like they're intentionally crisscrossing the country for no reason. I mean, you're weighing the weather against the driving distance and trying to figure out what the best solution. And it's not a great solution. It's just the way it is. The Pro Tour is crushing. I got nothing but positives to say about the Pro Tour.
All right. Next question. Scott.
Wait, is this relationship advice?
Mike Hardy McBride says, "Are you doing commentary in the future?"
No. So the problem with commentary, there's two things. One is I think it's much harder than people think. Like, I think I would potentially be good at it, but it's very much a learned skill. I need to learn to speak slower. I can't just be me. I have to actually be articulate and communicate my ideas more thoughtfully. Like, I think it's harder than people think. I think I could be good at it, but I think I'd have to put in years, because there's no reason to think I'd be like just good automatically. That's stupid. So I don't want to put years into it, but I don't want to be spending my weekends in front of a computer watching anything. Like, I want to be doing stuff. If I'm alive, I want to be either playing disc golf on weekends, and if I'm not playing disc golf, I want to be scuba diving or climbing a mountain or exploring a museum or something. But the idea of sitting in front of a monitor, that's like, I can't do that. Like, I got to be doing something. So it's just, I don't think it's the same thing, like, by the way, like designing courses. Like, I think I'd be very good at designing courses, but I think it's harder than people think to do it well. And the amount of time it takes to design a course relative to what it pays, like, I could be doing so many other things during that time. That's just not for me. So,
are you still planning on posting content while you're overseas?
Y'all know me by now. Yes, 100%. I will be producing more content while we're overseas. I have 2 different media companies that I'm working with, both of which I'm producing content with /for, on top of all my content. The whole idea of the European tour and the whole idea of traveling is to take every single one of you with me. So you're going to come with me on this trip. You're going to come to the tournaments. You're going to experience the culture. You're going to go to the restaurants with me. You're going to go to the tourist destinations with me. You're going to meet the locals with me. Like, you're going to see the best and the worst of these places. And the way we travel way cooler than I think a lot of people like. Just to give you an idea, the 4 months that we're going to be in Asia, we are shipping all of our suitcases and everything off to Europe. And because we're doing the 4 months in Asia with just a backpack, we'll have our laptops, we'll have our phones, and we're going to be doing public transportation. Like if we're in India, like we're riding on top of the train. Like obviously, there's no way in the world we would sit in the train in first class when we can sit on top of the train with the locals. And of course, I'm going to bring everybody with me on that. In fact, I'm going to learn some Bollywood. Up on top, what? That's what I can. I could learn Bollywood, and I'll learn to dance on top of the trains. But so yeah, public transportation, buses, hitchhiking. You know, not not out of like necessity, but because that's how you get to experience
a place.
A place. But a lot of it's the disc golf courses, the disc golf tournaments. What's it like? What's the culture like? What are the players like? So it's not going to be non-disc golf. It's still disc golf themed, but it'll be everything.
Michael Comisianos asking, what is your special weapon in a round?
I mean, my special weapon. I still got my opinion. I got like my sidearm is still as good as they get. You know, like I think it's as good as anybody's out there. It's the one thing that I would say that is competitive with everybody else.
Amy Good is asking, what was the most exciting and special win of your career and why?
I think there's a couple. When I first won the Wintertime Open, that was the first major disc golf tournament I ever won. It was 1987. I was 17 years old, but it was at my home course. It was just a big one. I mean, there were players there from all over the country. It was a who's who. There were world champions. Like, you're not supposed to win when you're 17 years old, and I beat them all. And that was super exciting for me. My first world distance record, and my first world distance title. And this is not like the one at a golf tournament. This is at a distance tournament. Distance tournaments and distance throwers were not golfers. Like there were, a dozen players that threw golf discs farther than any other player, except for me, on tour through by like 100 feet. They were distance throwers. So winning world distance at WIFDIF was not like going out to a golf tournament and they set up the markers they throw for distance. It was actually competing against people from all over the world that just threw distance. So winning the world championships there was great. And then winning double disc court with Dan Roddick, that was a beautiful moment. Because we had been competing. We finished third and then second at the US Open, but lost in the finals. So to finally win with him as my partner was amazing. So I would say those three.
JW would like to know, do you think that Climo should do his skins like Barry just did or have a bigger presence in the sport?
I don't. He doesn't. I mean, I don't like. I don't know. I mean, last I heard, and don't quote me. I heard he's injured. So, like, I don't know. I mean, if Ken wanted to be around, he'd be around. If he doesn't want to be around, he doesn't. It's just everyone's got their own thing, like what they like. I mean, not everybody likes to be the like center of attention in social media, and not everybody's comfortable with that. Not everybody welcomes it. So I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know Ken. I mean, I played with him, but we don't talk. So I'm sure he's doing well. I assume. But if he wanted to come out, he'd come out.
I hit trees with plastic as the username here. It was pretty fun. He says, I throw my mids, a Mako 3, Buzz, and Hex, 280 to 290. I throw my drivers, which are our Wraith, Mystere, Avenger, SS, 280 to 290. Can I fix this, or do I need to take up bowling?
Ooh, bowling's a lot of fun. So you need to find fairway drivers that are not as overstable as some of those. So when you throw a certain speed, Like if you throw fast enough for a high speed driver to fly 500 feet, at that speed, a fairway driver will fly a lot shorter distance. A mid range will throw even a shorter distance. A putter will fly even a shorter distance still. Right, there's a gap between these. But the slower that throw goes, the more those start to converge. And they get closer and closer together. And then you'll get to a point where at a certain speed, your high speed drivers and your mid ranges will fly almost the same distance. And the reason why is that when a disc runs out of speed, it fades. And the high speed drivers traditionally fade more at the end of their flight than drivers would fade more than mid ranges, which means at the end of the flight, the long range drivers and then the drivers will fade more to the side instead of penetrating forward. Well, at slower speeds, by definition, they're all going slower sooner, which means they're starting to fade to the side when the mid range is going forward. That makes the distances converge into shorter distances. So the distance you're talking about, I would expect your drivers to go farther than your mid ranges, but not a ton. If you're throwing a mid range 270 at that speed, your drivers probably aren't going to fly farther than the low 300s. But I'm going to go ahead and plug my class since you brought it up. They shouldn't fly the same distance. So mechanically, there's probably some things you're doing. There's no, I can't just give you an answer and say it's this or it's that without seeing you throw. My 6-month online class starts in November. If you sign up, you're going to be posting videos and form reviews and our videos for form reviews, and that's how you're going to whatever's not working, that's what we'll fix. But you're going to do it with those form reviews because it requires the back and forth. You post a video, me or the trainers make a change, you change it, you post another video, we make another change, we tweak it. It requires a back and forth to get what you're trying to get out of it.
All right. Have you ever played Brackets Bluff near Charlotte? Either recently or in the old days.
Never heard of it. So that's an easy answer. Never heard of it.
Jonathan Young is asking, what disc mold do you wish they still made?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, every disc that was good, they still make. I mean, maybe the puppy mold, which people don't really throw puppies anymore, but puppies were great. But it's a good question. There's nothing really out of production. There's nothing that I like, there's no disc that I'm like, really was in love with, they don't make anymore. Maybe the X Clone. But X Clones, I have thrown X Clones, and they were the coolest disc out when they were out, and when I throw them now, I'm like, yeah, this thing's.
Explain what the puppies are for people that don't know.
Oh, the original. Oh, we had another barbecue sauce sign. The puppies were the original polecat. How about that? They were the first. Puppy was the first golf disc that was made specifically for golf. It was basically it was a birdie, it was a rattler, it was a polecat. Like it was kind of like a bird without the indentation on top. By the way, I just sold 4 barbecue sauces, and I'm going to show them to you because this is Stokely sauce. Oh, by the way, that's Texas Smoky. I is Carolina vinegar. S is Kansas City sweet. And you'll never guess what the last one is. Nope. You thought it was W, didn't you? You're wrong. It's C, which is California spicy. And I don't know what they spell because I dropped out of school when I was a kid. So if I didn't drop out of school to play Frisbee, I could tell you what they spell, but it's probably something like I don't know, Rumpelstiltskin or something. But these sauces are really good. It's $30 for 4 bottles. By the time you pay shipping, you're going to pay $10 a bottle. That's the price of
Those are going to Lucas.
Lucas, thank you for your order.
Yes, thank you, Lucas. These barbecue sauces are. God, that looks so good. They're legit good. They're not low end sauce. That's for sure. They're delicious.
All natural ingredients.
Yep.
No high fructose corn syrup.
Oh yeah, I purposely, when I made these bottles, I could make them for $3.50 a piece with high fructose corn syrup, or $4.50 a piece with sugar, and that's like 25% more cost, and I can't really charge more for them. And I still opted for the no high fructose corn syrup because that stuff it's garbage. I mean, actually, even sugar is not the best thing for you, but it's nothing like the high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, while you're signing, talk about the Juju.
The Juju. Oh, yeah, the Juju. That's available at ScottStokely.net. Check that out. 2004, Ching Discs came out with the Juju. This is a out-of-production disc, out-of-production company. This is the first run PDGA-approved Juju. It is those are thumbprints on top that are different distances, so you find the one that works for where your thumb goes. It actually flies great. The indentations don't seem to affect the flight at all.
The official names were Accelerator Contours.
Accelerator Contours. That is so fancy. They're thumb holes. I think bowling already coined the correct term for them. Thumb holes.
Do you know the story of what these were called before?
Oh yeah, before they were called Jujus, they were called
the Mojo.
They were called the. Let me think. Hold on. It's coming to me. I believe they were called the Mojo.
And there was already a disc on the market with that name, so they changed it.
Wait, there was a disc called the Mojo?
Or there was somebody bringing out a disc possibly called the Mojo, but in any case...
somebody owns the trademark.
Yeah, somebody asked Mike if he wouldn't mind changing it, and he said sure.
It was Greenwell.
So.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he ever come out with it? The Mojo?
Yeah, there's been a lot of conversation about it since these showed up.
I've never heard of the Mojo.
Mm-hmm. So there's some that were stamped Mojo also.
Very few.
Mm-hmm. And they're especially elusive. We'll say that.
Really? Like they might not actually exist?
Can you hold it upside down for a turbo putt? Somebody asked. No, that's not what they're for.
Oh no! Oh no! Your fingers are not the inflator precision grip slots. Is that what he said?
Accelerator contours.
Inflator precision grip. I think accelerator precision grip slots. That was off the top of my head, by the way. So I'm still. I can still keep signing. I'm still at a B+. No, they're not. No, that's not what it's for. They're cool. I mean, it's one of those things where they look different. And so it's like, oh, that's kind of weird. They got those thumb things. But if the first discs came out with them and then the next discs came out with them, it would probably be something that everybody threw. And if you did this, they'd be like, wow, like, how do you grip this? It's not even, this is like flat. You can't grip it with a flat thing because it doesn't really affect the flight. So one of the things I like too about that disc is that like cool stuff happens when you innovate and you take risks. And so I like the fact that he was making something different. And the fact, whether it's good or not, at least it was like, he wasn't just making another rock and another.
It was an incredibly popular disc actually at the time.
Yeah,
so.
it was popular because it flies well. It basically flies like an Ultrastar. It has a real slight turn to it, but it doesn't really fade. It keeps turning. If you're older, it flies like a 70 mold. So he sold more barbecue sauce. That's epic. Would somebody please, I'm just going to ask you once. Would someone please buy 2,800 bottles of barbecue sauce?
All brands and corporate BS aside, if you could take any one disc from today back to the late 90s for a distance competition, what are you throwing? That question's from Andrew Watkins.
So in other words, which disc today flies
From
the
today,
farthest?
would you take to distance competition in the 90s?
I mean, there's a couple. I think the Boss would have to be considered one of them. I think there's no question. I think the Ballista Pros are up there. I would go with those two, the Boss and the Ballista Pro. Probably Nukes. I mean, Nukes are up there too. There's nothing can't take away from the Nukes.
Yeah.
So Boss, Ballista Pros, and Nukes.
Who do you consider the best comedian of all time?
All right, so I know there's going to be recency bias here. I'm going to go ahead and actually let me go ahead. Let me do this backwards, and I'm going to give you my top 5 in reverse order. Okay, we're going to go number 5. We're going to go Daniel Tosh. Number 4, Mitch Hedberg. Number 3, Doug Stanhope. Number 2, Louis C.K. And oh God, Daniel Tosher. Then we're gonna go Dave Chappelle and tie with Daniel Tosh. I can't leave Dave out. Number 1 though, my hands down, I think the GOAT is Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr is the funniest person alive, and I think he's got the most control over an audience I've ever seen. He's a master at he owns 2,500 people better than anyone I've ever seen. You know who else is really good at that? Well, he's not the funniest person ever, but if you ever watch Ralphie May or like any of the Ralphie May stuff, that's an example of somebody who just owns the audience. He nails it. Joe Rogan's good at owning the audience, but Bill Burr's the master. So Bill Burr's the funniest.
What about Norm?
God darn it. No, Norm is... We'll add him as another tie for 5th. Norm might be up there with Mitch Hedberg, though.
Norm Macdonald's hilarious.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald's amazing. Norm, oh God, Norm's really good too. Why do you have to... Sarah Silverman, during a little window of time, not before or after, but she had a window where she crushed it like nobody else. Jesus is Magic is one of the funniest specials ever. I like her. I've liked her before and after, but that, like when she peaked. Whew.
Who's your favorite Black Flag singer from Logan?
I mean, Rollins. Is that everybody? I'm not an expert, though. I wasn't from that era. So
He's got a lot of spoken word stuff that's great.
Yeah, Henry Rollins is great. He's a real smart guy. And yeah, I like Henry Rollins.
David is asking, are you doing the Bergs too?
Of course. Are you kidding me? I've got... Well, you can't see them unless you turn the thing. Look at all those Bergs that I have to sign.
And if you want one, you can go to scottstokely.net.
What she said. Do what she said. Always do what she says. Do I ever do what you say?
No.
No, I don't. I don't follow directions.
Put the signature session item in your cart. That means everything will be signed.
Yeah, but don't you steal my words. Don't you steal my voice. Yeah, no.
Steal your thunder.
Go to scottstokely.net. All my tour series discs, my book, my Stokely Universe discs.
Steal your girlfriend. I done that once too.
You stole my girlfriend?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Tiffany, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she stole one of my girlfriends from me. That's a true story. All of a sudden, my girlfriend is like, I think I like Adriana more than you.
How do I get my girlfriend addicted to disc golf?
All right, this is a great question. It's a relationship question, and I'm going to save your relationship, my friend. How do you get your girlfriend into disc golf? All right. So let's start. Well, so first off, the way you get into disc golf is you have to, whatever it takes, coercion, bribery, whatever, but you gotta get her to spend just a little bit of time to learn the basics of throwing. All right, now I'll explain by way of a scenario, and this might have happened to you. You've certainly seen this before. You watch, and by the way, it could be a boyfriend. I mean, there's women that play disc golf whose boyfriends aren't into it, but it is more often than not the other way around. So I ain't being sexist when I say girlfriends. I'm saying it's usually this. But here's the scenario. The boyfriend or husband is out at the course. They bring their wife or girlfriend out. The girlfriend stands to the tee pad, takes the disc, and does this. And just throws it like 40 feet, 90 degrees from the direction they're aiming. Like, that's all they know how to do. And then they play 9 holes around like that. And then the guy's like, isn't that fun? Isn't disc golf the greatest game in the world? And then he's like, well, how come she doesn't want to come back with me? It's like there's this disconnect. What a lot of guys don't realize is that it's not fun to do that. It's like going bowling and throwing gutter balls. It's not fun. Like, it's boring. It's stupid. It's lame. Disc golf becomes fun when you can start to aim the disc. Once you can feel the disc snap off your hand. Once you can throw far enough to actually watch the disc fly. Then you can start to manipulate the flight. I got to go left of this tree and under the branch. And then you succeed at it. You're like, that was exciting. I succeeded. That's what I came here for. Then you throw in the putt and you make a shot. When you get control over the disc, then you start thinking about, well, wait a second. How much angle do I have to put on it because of how far I want it to travel? And how much will the wind affect it? These are the things that make disc golf fun. It's not fun to go, I'm not making fun of the girls when I say this. I'm just saying anybody that just stands there and does this, of course they're not having fun. So I think the number one trick, not trick, but the number one thing to get a partner into disc golf is get them to learn a little bit about the technique to where they can actually, at the very least, do a 3-step run-up, hit a line with snap, with a disc going where they're aiming. Once they do that, most people find it fun. It's just not fun until that point. Now, how do you get someone to take that leap to learn that much? That's you'd have to maybe negotiate that one and say, look, this is important to me. And I believe if you get good at it, you'll find it fun. So what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to put some effort into learning it for the next 5 times out. And after 5 times, if you still don't find it fun, I won't bug you. It'll be my hobby and I'll leave you alone. But it's important to me, and I'm asking you, give me 5 days out. Go out long enough to where it starts to click. Because explain to them that it's not fun if they don't play. And then ultimately, if they don't play, they don't play. Adrienne has never played a hole. She's not interested. I'm not interested in her playing. So, but that's the biggest thing is get them to learn the basic skills. Way more fun.
It works for kids too, not just partners.
Oh, by the way, same with kids too.
Yeah.
Once kids actually find that they can do something, it's more fun.
Amy Good asks, what is the common denominator for your relationship not lasting more than a year?
Common denominator. So why do my relationships last less than a year? Well, I mean, the common factor is obviously me. Like, you could easily make the case that I'm the problem. I, of course, don't think I am, but then again, nobody does either. So I don't measure success in a relationship by the amount of time you're with somebody, because if you're not happy, how is that successful? Like, I've always thought it's the strangest thing in the entire world. Like, I've been to like 2 weddings ever. But at both of those weddings, they started calling people, who's been married 30 years? And everybody that stands up 30 years stands up. Everybody's like, yay! Who's been married 40 years? And some of them sit down, yay! Who's been married 50? They've been married 61 years, yay! And everybody's clapping. I'm thinking to myself, maybe. Are they happy for 61 years? Like, why is it automatically a measure of success that you're together? It doesn't make sense to me. Are you happy? So I've always been a believer in a relationship should last until one of the people ain't happy no more. And so, and I don't consider that an actual failed relationship. That's just what you should do. Like, would you agree, Adriana? We're together, and as long as we're happy. If we're not happy, we're not together.
Yep.
Right? Why would we be? So the failed relationship, I think more than anything, it means there's not a what do you call it? There's not wired to commitment just because like that's what makes it successful. Like if you're not happy, you're not, and then you should go.
I'm not wired to any kind of commitment.
What?
I'm not wired to any kind of commitment.
We're not. Yeah, like we're never gonna get married. Like we're never gonna like it's just so. I think that's probably the biggest factor is that like I've left just about all of them. I've left them because both of us weren't happy or stopped being happy. I think the way you feel when you're new, like there's no greater feeling than like new relationship energy, NRE. That feeling that you have in a new relationship is the greatest feeling in the entire world. I think it's bizarre that people are like, oh, I'm going to feel that for like 2 months and then not feel it again for like the next 50 years of my life. It's like, really, that greatest feeling ever, you're just going to not ever feel again? That's insane. Like, to me, like you should always have that feeling in your life, that life. I still feel that with Adrienne every single day. And as long as I do, we're going to we'll stick this one out, but not because we're committed to it. That was a little bit deeper than you probably wanted. Oh, is it really? All right. Last call. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. All right. Wait, actually, well, let's do whoever's in the queue still.
Yeah, we got 10 more in the queue.
We have 10 more in the queue. All right.
We'll just do some kind of rapid fire.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We got 10 more in the queue, so no more questions. Or that's just an emergency. If it's an emergency question.
Stay on all night.
When you like nearly everybody, what does liking Brody really mean? Rich is.
It means so. What it means.
Inquiring mind.
What it means is there's that very few people like don't have anything about them that's likable. Like the thing about a relationship, I think, is you take what you can get out of the relationship and don't expect things that you can't get out of the relationship. If somebody is fun and they like to joke around with them, then you can have a great relationship with them where you never have a deep conversation. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's that relationship dynamic. It's fun joking around, and other people it's all serious. Other people it's a business relationship or a intimate relationship or friendship. Doesn't matter. I think you find what you want in a relationship with somebody, and then if you're looking for every relationship to be everything, you're going to get disappointed. You're going to find stuff you don't like about people. It doesn't have to be that way, So like, I mean, Brody would probably say the same thing about me. Like we have different personalities. Like we're probably never going to be besties. But every time we play around together, we laugh and have fun. We enjoy each other's company. We enjoy talking disc golf. We enjoy making jokes. So I take the relationships, all of relationships, for what they can give. And so I have found, I mean, I like Brody. I found lots of stuff about Brody that I enjoy. So that's really what I mean. I think I don't like everybody. There's people out there I don't like, but it takes a while before I realize that person's got nothing. Most people have something.
All right, one last plug then on all the stuff. That way we can wrap it up.
All right, one last plug, and then we'll wrap up the last questions, everybody. Unless there's emergencies. 2 things. Number 1, you can buy my tour series discs. You can buy my book. You can buy the Stokely Universe discs.
This one?
Stokely Universe discs. You can buy those with those. You can buy the Juju. You can buy all these things at scottstokely.net. If you click the signature signing button, then every single thing in that order will be signed. If you click that button, every single item gets signed. the universe discs on the back, the tours discs on the front, the book on a certain page, but they're all going to get signed. If you don't click that button, nothing gets signed. That's number one. And number two, and then we'll get to the rest of the questions. Number two is my 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class. It's the next class starts in November. Everything I do in teaching fills up. Everything fills. So if you want to get in, I would sign up and get into that class. It's not just videos and lesson plans. It's interactive. It's live streams. It's live teaching. It's you posting form reviews for the trainers and myself. It's like, I'm so proud of this thing. It's like in teaching, it's the thing I'm most proud of. I put together something that's really good. It's not fly by night. It's so much work went into it, but the results are everybody's playing better because of it. And final thing is, if you want to be a teacher in the Stokely method, which includes getting on our database of teachers next spring, where we will be sending people to you. So we'll be sending students to you to teach. The first step is to take the 6-month class. So if you're interested in teaching, I would definitely sign up for it. It's the best path. Another order. Wow. Another order of barbecue sauces. Signed. That's epic. All right. Who else?
All right. This one's more of a comment, but it says, as an Appalachian State graduate, it hurt a little bit when you mispronounced it.
Appalachian? Wait. You mean when I played against Brody?
Yeah.
I said Appalachian State. It's Appalachian? Appalachian? Like the Himalayas?
Himalaya?
Hey, you should be happy that I acknowledged and like that I'm familiar with you. It's in that Appalachian?
Who in the history
Sorry.
would be great at disc golf if they had been around since the beginning of time?
Who throughout history
would have been great at disc golf if disc golf had been around since the beginning of time?
Oh God, that's a great question. And let me think about this. I'll figure this one out. I would have to say, well, let's go through the people in history. It wouldn't be Benjamin Franklin, because it's hard to play disc golf with syphilis. Right?
I don't know.
It's not. How about Abraham Lincoln, because he was tall.
Mm-hmm. He probably had a good ape index, huh?
Yeah, he had a good ape index. That's the term for your wingspan, how many inches longer that is than your height. So Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, it wouldn't have been anybody for more than a couple hundred years ago, because they were all 4 feet tall. We'll see. Babe Ruth basically had the body and the lifestyle to be a disc golfer in the early days, so he could have been an early success. Wilt Chamberlain, because he was a monster. What was he, 7 feet tall? He would have smashed. That's a good question, but I'd say the big one would be, I think I'm going to go Abraham Lincoln. I think
that's solid.
That's pretty solid. Yeah, I think Abe's a solid bet.
All right, Miracle Whip or mayonnaise? I didn't make up the question. Don't look at me like that.
We're gonna go mayonnaise. Miracle Whip is gross. Although I had this thing for like 6 months as a kid where I ate Velveeta cheese, Miracle Whip, and sourdough for like 6 months. I've never eaten it before since, but I ate it for like every day for like 6 months when I was a kid.
Sliced or just out of the roll like you used to do it? I met you.
No, that wasn't Velveeta.
No, the cheese, the bread.
No, this was sliced. No, come on.
Savage. All right, Tyler Durden wants to know, is your significant other your partner, girlfriend, your woman, or your old lady?
I mean, we don't do good with labels. I mean, she's my girlfriend. She's my wife. We're not married. Well, no, we're not married, but she's my business partner. She's my best friend. She's the person I'm closest to in the world. She's the one I trust the most, and she manages my business, and she's the person I'm traveling the world with. So she's the most important. But I mean, but the label part is.
I'm cool with any of those. Although I don't really like labels except for the old lady one because I'm younger than you.
Yeah, she's younger than me.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be it.
Any Russian or Chinese courses that you're looking forward to?
I would love to. I want to go to China next year. I would love to go to Russia. You know, the thing about political climates, I'll keep this to this like 9 seconds, but people are great everywhere. Governments suck. It's the freaking governments. They're the ones that suck. People are just people. And so, like, I got nothing against Russia. When everybody's like, oh, Russia this or China that, it's like, it's very unfair because it's the governments we're talking about. It's a very small group of people. But the people are going to be great. I've heard people that go to China say that the people are wonderful and that they have a great time. So I can't wait to go to those places, but nowhere in particular.
Do you believe that pro disc golfers should be drug tested?
I 100% absolutely positively do not. There's nothing more offensive to me than having any control or say over what another person does in their private time or their individual time. That's talking about like certain types of drugs. As far as drug testing for competition, there's no way to test. You know, I mean, it's just impossible. I mean, like they spend tens of millions of dollars for USADA at the UFC, and they still slip through the cracks on that one. You can't just test people competition day because you do all the steroids and all the performance enhancing drugs. You can do it before and then let it leave your system if you know when you can be tested. To do random testing means you have a pool of hundreds of people that could be. It's just impossible to test. And then even when you test them, it's unfair because even if it's a random sampling, why is that person tested, that person not, blah, blah, blah. It's a rabbit hole you can't do. And ultimately, I don't think it makes that much of a difference in our sport. It might, but if it does, you know. So no, I don't think people should be tested at all.
Did you try any barbecue when you were in Lansing for the CCR?
Did we try barbecue in Lansing?
We eat barbecue everywhere.
Yeah, we eat barbecue. I eat barbecue everywhere. So my answer would be if I was there for the CCR for a week, I bet I did. But I couldn't tell you where.
Can't tell you where. It was either just it's some local
we went
roadside.
To one place. We go to the crappiest roadside place. Where's that place? We ate some really good place downtown though. Remember?
In Lansing?
Yeah, we parked right across the street, East Lansing. I can't remember what it was. It was African food. I think it was East African.
Oh yeah.
We ate in an East African restaurant in Lansing that was the bomb.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm sure we eat barbecue everywhere.
All right. Next question. Hey Scott, are you going to be at the USDGC? I'm going to be here this weekend and would want to meet you.
I am not. I am going to be. I have a seminar. Well, first off, I'm down here at the warehouse, so I'm not going to make it to the USDGC.
The next question is it true if you are horrible with relationships that you're horrible at disc golf?
No. The correlation in sports between being good at sports and being good or bad at life, like I've never seen the correlation. Like some of the best athletes are just terrible at life, and some of the best athletes crush life. So I don't think it makes a difference.
I think it's probably a pretty high percentage though, because when people are, especially if they're like prodigies at something, like they get so laser focused on their thing that they might let their relationship slip and not know it unless they have a partner who is
but what is a good relationship? So for example, this is what should happen. Like I'm out on the disc golf pro tour. I'm trying to excel. Adriana's like, she does a lot of the work, the website and the other work. When I go out to practice, I never, like not one single time have I gotten a message, where are you? When are you coming home? She literally just never does that. I mean, and by the way, it's not like it's wrong to ask when you're coming home or something like that, but she purposely never wants me thinking about her when I'm practicing. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, she wants my focus to be on practice. And so I need to practice as long as I need to practice, and I'll come back when I'm done because I can't, like she supports my excelling at this thing. And so for that to happen, it's like it has to be about me. The way we look at it, and this is not me like projecting this onto her, this is exactly how she views it, is that we are a team in this business. And we're a team. And the team, like the product is me. And so what can she do to enhance this product? Well, the way she can enhance this product is clear the playing field for me to succeed, because that's in her best interest. It's in both our best interests, right? It's not, it's like it's a bad business decision to get in the way of my success, because my success is her success. So I can see what you're saying about that, but is that a good relationship if one partner's interfering with the other partner's what they love or what they're trying to do? I don't know. I don't think so. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Why did Brody become a disc golfer?
Brody is a disc golfer because Brody loves disc golf. He loves sports. He loves athletics. He loves flying discs. He's very good at it. I can't answer for Brody, but he loves the game. It's not a cash grab. I mean, Brody's what Brody's been able to do out on the pro tour and coming from Ultimate it's astonishing. Like, it's like people think or mistakenly think, oh, well, you played Ultimate, so you'll be good at disc golf easily. Yeah, there's tens of millions of Ultimate players out there. None of them are on the pro tour in the off season or when they retire. Like, it's Brody. I mean, Robert Burridge is one of them. I mean, and Ella Hansen, like there's a few. Danny Clyden, but for the most part, they're not. It's a different game. He is playing at a level that's unreal, and one of the reasons is like after something, just as an example, that I saw Brody do more than any other player on tour this year is after a round, Brody goes out to the field and works on the shots that he either had trouble with or he needs to work on. Like at the end of the round, he doesn't cash it in. His job's not over yet. He goes out there and he puts the time into to fixing the holes in his game. Like, nobody works as hard as that guy. I don't say nobody. I mean, all the players on tour work hard, but he's not being outworked. That's for damn sure. He wouldn't do that day in and day out if he didn't love it and want to be the best. So, yeah, he's not out there just trying to make money. He's like, he loves the sport, I believe.
Well, wasn't he having like knee problems, and so his longevity in Ultimate was already kind of getting down to the bottom, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ultimate players at the highest level have a short shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like any sport. I mean, basketball, football. I mean, it's hard on the body. But Brody's great. I like Brody.
Amy says, when are you going on your trip? I'm excited for you and can't wait to follow your journey. If you want a third wheel, I have my backpack ready.
Is this Amy?
Yeah.
Which Amy is it?
No, Kelly.
Oh, Kelly?
Oh, no, Amy Good.
Amy Good?
Yeah.
All right, well, what time are we leaving? Where should she meet us?
Austin, Texas.
You wanted to meet us in
On the
Austin?
28th.
All right, we'll see you in Austin on the 28th. You good with that?
Yep.
Yep, Adriana's good with it. So we'll see you in Austin, Texas on the 28th.
Bring me a Starbucks.
Yeah, make sure you bring Adriana Starbucks. She wants sugar-free syrup and coconut milk.
Yep. Melanie says she wants Knuckle tattoos like yours, but she already has one hand filled with lame cover-up of an ex's name and a 4-letter disc golf related any 4-letter disc golf related tattoo knuckle ideas for her.
Wait, read that again.
She already has one hand that's filled with a lame cover-up, but she wants to do the knuckles. Any 4-letter disc golf related knuckle tattoos idea. You were talking about doing the numbers.
Yeah, well, I have a 4-digit PDJ number.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people have that many numbers now.
So
though.
I have a cover up. I have a cover up too. So this right here was a cover up, and the reason why is that me and my ex, we had couples tattoos, which is so adorable and is always a terrible idea. And I had half the rainbow, and then if she was next to me and we were holding hands, then she had the other half of the rainbow, so we had a rainbow together. Her arm said "All True Love," and my arm said "Ends in Murder Suicide." Isn't that romantic? So, anyways, when we split up, all of a sudden, I just had an arm that randomly said "Ends in Murder Suicide." Kind of made no sense. So I covered up, but it still says right here, "Ends in." But you can hardly see it. But there's no way to cover up those. So
it just looks like it's part of the drips.
It looks like it's part of the drips now. But yeah. So I've done my cover up. 4-digit tattoo names. 4-digit words. Let's see.
I think the UPGA numbers are like that long right now. You can just put like a hashtag, a pound sign.
Yeah, if you had an 8-digit PDJ number, or better yet, like start it get your website and like it's 7 letters and it can be at something.
Speaking of PDGA numbers, did you know that they just went over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Was like it just happened. Somebody bought that one.
Really?
Recently.
That's crazy. I can't think of any 4-digit numbers, so I would just go love and hate. Just go old school.
That's not disc golf related though.
No, but that's like the traditional. Okay.
Let's see how many. Putt high, putt low, putt.
Turn fade.
Jump putt. There you go, jump putt. I'd go jump putt.
There you go.
But make sure you're really good at jump putts.
There you go. That was good advice.
Yeah.
Push putt.
Mm-hmm.
Push putt. Spin putt. Push putt, spin putt, but you can't do a spoosh putt. So you have to commit yourself. But make sure you're doing you get the right putt. Like don't if you get look, if it says push putt and then you become a spin putter, that's a terrible idea.
Then you'll need a cover up for it too.
Yeah. All right.
Putt true. Rigor says putt true would work. That's a good one.
Putt true. I like putt true.
Ron Jones is PDGA number 6977, so he could get PDGA 6977. All right. That's all the questions that are in.
Is that all of them?
Yep.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you all so much. I had a great time as usual. When I'm traveling overseas, I'm going to continue to do these live streams. I might switch them to a different night just because if I'm playing a tournament on Saturday and this is like 4 a.m. somewhere, that doesn't work. So I might do it like on a Wednesday, like switch it to Wednesdays or something. But my intention is to keep doing these every week because I'm having so much fun talking to everybody. Like I'm even getting to know people that are like regulars. So come back next week and tell people about it. But love you guys, man. I'm just having so much fun. Wait a second, what does it say?
Oh, Rick of Mortis wanted to see you sign the discs.
Which discs?
What do we got his order? Let me see.
What did he order?
Sign on the back in silver, please.
Oh, okay. So
he ordered the customs. The Stokely Universe discs.
They're going to be signed on the back of the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know which person you're talking about.
But he wants it on video. So
I don't know what your
Yeah, Rick and Morty, did you order one of each?
non-username is to match with the order.
order number.
Post your order number.
Yeah, post your order number, and we can pull them right now for you. Bring you a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to come with us, Amy, bring us.
I mean, if you don't know that the best way to a girl's heart is through a gift, like, do you know anything?
Yeah, bring Adriana to Starbucks, and she'll buy your plane ticket.
Oh, he says he bought all 3 in a stiff marble.
Okay, he didn't choose signature, so I'll fix that.
Oh,
You can do his right now. Is that Michael?
Is rigor mortis? Is that Michael?
Ron Jones says, "Oh my God, I just realized that bonehead would fit on my fingers perfectly. Damn it. All right, well, Pixar, it didn't happen."
Yeah, Pixar, it didn't happen.
All right, we're staying on for you, rigor mortis.
All right, rigor mortis, we're staying on.
Andy Darlington says, "Keep up the live chats. They are great."
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm having so much fun. As long as people keep tuning in, I'll keep doing them because I'm definitely enjoying myself.
This is his order.
Okay, this is rigor mortis's order.
Yep.
Yeah, Michael. I got it. He's signing for you. There you go. Hold it up.
See, this is vertical, so just keep them like that. Something right there.
Okay, so sign all 3 right there.
Yeah, vertical. Yeah.
Okay, right here. Right
Ron's going to do it on his birthday in 4 months, he says. Hold it up for him. Timothy says, "You need to keep up your hand stretching and stay hydrated while you're doing all this signing."
here.
Love you too.
Yeah, you guys are great. All right.
Turn it around.
What?
Turn them around and flip them around. All right.
All right.
Cool. Very much. Awesome.
Yep.
So is that it?
Yep. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, Simon.
All right, we'll see you guys. Are all those still need to be signed?
Yeah.
All
And that
those
up there
and all
too.
those up there too. All right.
Yeah, you're gonna be here a while, but we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't mind. We'll wrap it up. Yeah, I'll get actually. I actually will.
See you next week. Next North Carolina, maybe. Rigor
Yeah.
mortis.
We will see you. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Awesome.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.